Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addicts live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican for his verbis Latinos. I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
That's literally not true.
I'm not sure what that was. Looks like I just fell through a portal. Fell through a portal and I arrived here. Oh, and I'm not where I should be there either. Yeah, we're having some problems today. It's all right. It's a Monday. It's Monday. Let's just go down here for a while. I'll just be tiny in the corner. It's Monday. Welcome. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I'm the Recovery Addict. So glad to have you here. Appreciate you all being here, taking your seats nicely as you should. Apparently, I got 10 demerits for being late. 10 demerits. 10? No one told me it was going to be 10 demerits. I was thinking like 1 would be appropriate, but 10 it is, I guess. My bad. I'm here now. Welcome. We have a couple things going on today. One that we wanted to start talking about, which we're hoping we get video for, because we have jury selection starting today in the trial of Illinois versus Timothy Blifnick. Blifnick, I believe that's how we pronounce his name, Blifnick. He is the former Family Feud contestant accused of murder. His wife was found shot multiple times, found by family members in her home after she failed to go pick up her kids after school. And he was accused and found guilty. This is a fast-track trial. I believe he did not waive his right to a speedy trial. The murder itself, they believe, happened on February 23rd. And here we are trying to seat a jury this morning. So that is just awesome. I am having all sorts of problems with, let's see, scan USB devices again. There it is. Woo woo. It's going to work. Okay. So USQ1. Let's just run this to A and see if I can get back in my normal position. Boom. There we go. Okay, so there's that. And now we can also do this. And Sharon McDonald, CEO of the Internet, has returned to claim ownership this morning. Sharon, congratulations being first in chat. After a long weekend, it's a good thing for the boss to come in, make sure everything's working appropriately. And she's doing that today, going to keep track of everything IP related for us. Sharon, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Come to order, everybody. I've used my gavel, so you can't see it, but I'm using it. We'll set it over there for now, where it will probably fall on the floor later today. All right. Happy Monday. How was your weekend, first of all? How was your let's get updates from everyone as necessary, because we do need updates. Let's see. We need this over here. Let's see if we can bring up all the feeds we want. / and or need. I'm not sure if we're going to get the footage we want today. It's a big day, though. It's a big day. We've got the jury selection beginning, and oftentimes we get limited, if any, footage from jury selection in a trial. It's very fun to listen to, and if we get it, I would love it, because jury selection, you get to hear all the excuses for the people who do not want to serve on the jury, and they are many. Whoa, my camera looks like there was a small earthquake in the courtroom. Is that any better? All right, I think we're in better shape now. I'm not sure what happened in here last night. Like a party happened, and I've had to reconnect everything and get everything lined up. Let's see. I do that regularly. We had a couple memberships come in, a couple membership messages, which I missed. Let's see if I can find them. I think Jiggly Jules just got a new courthouse color today. Congratulations, Jiggly Jules. And there it is. There's a message says, I'm ready. I'm in my SpongeBob voice. Happy Monday. Fun day. Jiggly Jules, thank you. I saw the new membership come through, and there's your anniversary membership message, as well as Andrew C. with a membership. Yay! Like the blue courthouse by your name, Andrew. Thank you very much. Appreciate your continued support. Comments still don't work. Did it work now?
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
Oh, they're working now. The commands don't work till I'm live. It helps if I read the sentence the way it was typed. Thank you, Abby, one of our great mods. Appreciate your help and for being here this morning. Hope you had a great weekend as well, Abby. Hello to the UK from us. Okay, let's see. There were a couple of people who were reporting on their weekend, which is perfectly appropriate to do. Let's see. We've got Austin from Illinois, from the land we're trying to connect to right now, Austin. We might have to send you down to the courthouse and sleuth out a little bit. I believe we're in Adams County is where we're going to be. Kenanan. Now, welcome to the gallery. Wonderful to have you here with the Blue Courthouse by your name. Appreciate your continued support as well. And Samantha M., happy to be with you guys. I love my baby boy. Graduated from K5 this past Friday. Congratulations to your baby boy, Samantha. That is awesome. That is just awesome. Congratulations. He's going to go far. And the smiley face from Kenanan, using up that membership anniversary message. Wonderful. Let's see, more are pouring in here. It says, the blue looks good. I think I'll keep it. Elizabeth, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Katie214, happy 2 months to us. Still looking for that cash baby, though. Happy Monday to all in chat. That's awesome. We all could use a cash baby about this time of year, I think. Whoa, you guys all discovered the message feature at the same time. Hope says, hi, friends. Hello, good to have you here, Hope, as well. And
new baby Justice photos in your Discord DMs.
Oh, baby Justice in Discord. I do such a bad job checking my Discord messages, Dean. I do apologize, but let me see if I can pull up some images here. I assume that they are okay for me to share with the group, if that's all right. Let's see. Last time you said it was okay, so I'm going to go with forgiveness is easier than permission on this one. Does that work? Let's see. Where's Dean at? There we go. Oh, man. Okay, here we go. Got to make this full screen and bring it over here. Okay, so this is the best I can do size-wise right here for the pictures. For some reason, my system's not working. So these are the first two you sent me, Mom and Baby, yesterday. That was fantastic. And then we have one more right down here. The new ones, Dean, just beautiful pics right there. There's one, and peacefully sleeping. There's another. Congratulations, Dean, and Mom and Baby as well. That is just awesome. Congratulations to both of you. Awesome family. Good to have you here with us this morning as well. Hope Mom's getting some much needed rest. Oh my goodness. Hope she's getting tons of rest. Let's see. Adam Nusky. I have a county. Do you have a county, Adam? Do you have a courthouse? Does that work? Jamie Letourneau. Good morning to you. Good to have the Blue Courthouse by your name as well. And Kayak Star working hard again, so looming all week. Looming or lurking, one of the two. Popping in to show some love to the channel and community. Stay gold. KXR, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wonderful to have you here, lurking or looming over us either way. Good luck with work this week, with whatever is up there. Let's see. Coming in from the Mitten State. The Mitten State. Is that Michigan? Is that the one that looks like a mitten? I've never heard of a mitten state before. Like Alaska, you wear mittens year-round, but I don't think they're called that. Boston Grill, good morning. Good to have you here. Any birthdays today? I've not seen any in chat, but I'm just now catching up here. We're just getting started. Tammy Coleman, welcome to the gallery. Good to have you here with the Blue Courthouse by your name. Thank you very much. Let's see. It's a new week and a new trial. Christina is the problem. It is a new trial. We're excited to finally have a trial underway. We're hoping. If you guys have ever, by show of hands, how many have listened to jury selection on a trial before? A lot of times we don't get to see it. You get like a view of the judge, and then you can hear audio of other things that are happening. But wow, lots happening over the weekend here. Monique Holmes, good to have you in green with the courthouse there. Thank you very much for your support. And Mark York, any Kohberger coverage today? I can tell you. Let me get the update first of all, Mark. That's a very timely question. First of all, Kohberger has 3 hearings that are happening today, and this is Idaho time, so it's 2 hours behind me. So right now we're about 17 minutes to 10. So at 9, 10, and 11. He has hearings. All 3 of them, the judge has changed to be in-person hearings. So he zoinked the Zoom feed for the 2 that we had the Zoom connections for. He zoinked those. He has ordered all 3 of them to not be live streamed, but in some weird way in his head, he says, but it's okay for TV cameras to be here and to film everything. And as soon as the proceedings are over, you can air them. So we will have the usual players who are going to be there in the courtroom, who are going to be filming everything as it happens. And as soon as it's over, we may be able to jump to it, especially if we have some trouble with getting jury selection audio or video this morning out of our court case that's beginning this week. Then we'd obviously want to jump over there and take a look at what's happening with Kohberger. Because there are a couple events. Some of them are just like scheduling things, like the one that has to do with the press. We'll find out later what the situation is. So Danny Austin says, felt like my right arm had been chopped off with missing my dose of RA at the end of last week. I'm sorry. It was a mixture of no trial and me getting ready to go camping with my boys. I needed a little bit of time to get ready. Janet Yost, welcome. Hello back to you. Good to have you at Blue Courthouse by your name. Appreciate your support as well. Okay, so Kohberger, Mark, the Kohberger stuff we are keeping an eye on. We're going to be listening to, keeping an eye on Twitter. That's probably going to be your best bet to find instant updates on what's happening. The usual folks, Brian Enton is up there right now. He's in line for the courthouse waiting to go in. You're going to have Court TV, Law and Crime, East Idaho News. I think that's Brian. All the regular people are there. The feed's going to be recorded. It's going to be filmed. Then it's going to be distributed to the pool, and basically it can be distributed live, but not rebroadcast until the system ends. It's the weirdest setup ever. And honestly, I don't know what the judge is trying to accomplish by this, because showing it an hour later is not going to somehow mean that there's not, a potential juror that will not see it because it was delayed by an hour. It's the weirdest setup. I really hope that they get this fixed. One of the hearings that is happening, I'm not sure if it's at 10 or 11, one of the hearings is specifically to address the issues of the gag order and address to the media, to Associated Press and all the bodies that fall in that group, as well as the other news coverage companies. Their concerns about covering the trial, about wanting live footage, and their right to be able to see an open trial, and the importance of that. So that hearing, unfortunately, they will not make a decision in that trial, or we don't expect one. They will probably just schedule a future hearing where they can then fight it out in court. The judge has denied making the change right now. He said, you have to show up in court as just like everybody else, and wait on the schedule, wait in line like everyone else did. I saw an email from Sharon McDonald. Very pertinent question here, if I can get caught up on my chat here. About Idaho is 3 hours behind Eastern time. Is Idaho in 2 time zones? Well, let's do a quick question. Hey Siri, what time is it in Moscow, Idaho?
In Moscow, Idaho, it's 6:47 a.m.
Okay, so you're right. They're in Pacific time then. So that puts us at noon, 1, and 2 o'clock for the 3 hearings in Idaho. So that's going to be lunchtime before we hear anything on the Kohberger trial. We did select a trial going forward. It's going to be the Family Feud trial, or the Game Show TV trial. I'm worried that Family Feud is going to try to sue everybody if we use their name in the title, because it was just a former contestant. There was nothing about Family Feud that contributed to this, other than the fact that when he was on Family Feud, he gave an answer that seemed to be disparaging towards his wife. That now that he's accused of murdering his wife seems to be relevant, but that's it. I don't know if Steve Harvey's going to be called in to testify on this one, but maybe. We never know. They might play video from the show. See, I did see some grad pics over the weekend sent to the burner phone. I'll check and see if there's some more, Dilly. Thank you very much for that. Daughter is 18 today, says T. Marie. That is awesome. 18. Tangled Crochet gifted 5 memberships to kick off the week as well. Tangled Crochet, thank you very much. Appreciate your support. The judge probably watched the Lori Vallow trial. So we get previously recorded late night show for Kohberger. DMB, here's what's going to happen. On Kohberger, there are enough people interested in it that it is a race to break the news. I'm not sure who's going to be first, because you're sort of pushing the judge hasn't said how long we need to delay before we can live stream, right? How long do we need to hold the footage before it's okay to air? And
not a camel.
And is 20 minutes later, is that okay? Or do we have to wait till the whole proceeding ends before we start the new one? But it's going to be a race. Everyone wants to see the footage, and the first person to put it up is going to get the eyeballs. That's and so because of that, I don't think you're going to have to wait till late tonight. I'm hoping, unless the judge gives some sort of order that way.
Bring the jury.
I was looking for a message from, let's see, Sharon McDonald, our internet CEO, asked a question about the internet. Said, did I get my fiber? And no, I didn't. First, let me give you the bad news first. I waited till the last hour of the last day that they were supposed to show up. And then I got a phone call from Metronet. I'm like, sweet. They're saying, hey, we're at the door. Are you going to let us in? They called and said, hey, good news for you. We've been able to finally schedule your install. I said, excuse me? I said, yep, we've just been able to schedule your install. It's going to be on the 30th of May. And I try to be nice to people. I really do. But maybe my frustration may have been apparent to someone on the phone. My wife sensed it, and she heard my side of the call. But I let them know that I had prepaid for install. I was already on direct pay, auto pay. I had signed up for them for this 5 months ago, and that they were already knocking on neighbors' doors, making new sales, and installing those sales before they'd even done anything about mine. And so for them to let the ball drop, I was not very happy. But unfortunately, I think the person who scheduled it forgot me, and then found my info, and then hurried and scheduled me. And now that everyone else has signed up for it, I'm at the back of the list. So I'm at the end of the month before we get the fiber. But our current internet is working. I am also ordering this week the bonded cellular device that will allow me to live stream from anywhere. Maybe even pushing a 4K signal. That would be fun, to do a remote 4K signal. I can't do 4K out of my home studio because this device is limited to 1080p, but my cameras can do 4K. And so if I bypass that device and just go direct from remote in the wilderness, which I have to tell you, there is some possibility of me being remote for a couple weeks, almost 3 weeks, not directly next to each other, but like 4 days 1 week, 2 days next week, and then next month, the month after, another week. So that's coming up, as I've been requested to be present for a couple of youth camps where they need some support and help. Polly Prissy Pants, chart maker, graphics maker extraordinaire. I don't know. We need a title for you, Polly. You do an amazing job over there. It says, my birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Polly. Our anniversary today. Son's birthday Thursday. Yay for May. Polly, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Good to have you here. Love having that green courthouse by your name as well. And love what you're doing for Randy and JT. You're absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. So we probably need to play some birthday music. Let's see. Looking at some sunshine here in Michigan. How was camping? Miss Beasy, I'm going to assume that many of you are familiar with some of the major Bible stories, okay? Because that's going to be pertinent for my description of how camping went. But for the first, 6 hours of camping on Friday, I felt like we were reenacting the opening scene, or like the main scene of Noah's Ark. It was dumping buckets of rain down on us. It was like I pulled in and the clouds opened and the sky fell. Just water everywhere. Once it stopped, and it did stop, we were actually able to light a campfire, and my son loved it. We used what's called a scout match and scout juice, also known as a butane torch, and rubbing alcohol to light the fire, which always works, even when it's wet. And then if you pour enough of that on it, it generates enough heat to dry out the wood, and then the wood burns. And my son had a blast playing with fire pretty much the whole time he was awake. We had a blast. We went out on the canoe. We paddled down to the end of the lake looking for turtles. I'm not a camel. On Saturday, he was playing over by the volleyball pits, and because this is a nice little campground. And I said, okay, I'm going to go clean the cabin. When you're done, come help me. And I guess he misheard, and he's 7. And so he said he thought that maybe I had gone out on a lake. So he just went down on the lake and hopped in a boat and took it out on his own, a little paddle boat, canoe. 12-foot canoe just on his own. Luckily, a friend of mine saw him and had the presence of mind to A, give him a life jacket, and B, launch the canoe for him. so my buddy sent my 7-year-old out on the lake on his own because he was looking for me to see if I was already out there. But it all went well. So that was fun. We had a good time. Let's see, Blair, good to have you here. I'm here in a special kiss up pupil because I hit the like button. Thanks, B Pattern. Appreciate that. Let's see, the joke you and Weatherwatch did about the bear with no teeth. I used it on my little boy all weekend. My little boy is retelling Weatherwatch's jokes this past weekend. So that and the snowman joke, he tells that again. So no fiber yet, Sharon, unfortunately, but it's in the schedule. So now we're 8 days away still. Another week out. Spooky days, welcome back. Last week was a slow week for us as we were between trials, but we're just picking up a new trial today. We're hoping we get jury selection. If not, we'll have to wait a little bit more. But there's good things. First this morning, or midday today, we've got the Kohberger updates, which are going to be fantastic. We're gonna hear if he pleads guilty. We're gonna hear if he waives his right to a speedy trial, which will be a big import because that will add years to the timeline. It could be 3 years out before he actually faces trial if he waives his right to a speedy trial, which I hope he does not. So we have that this morning. We have a hearing, a motion on discovery, compelled discovery, which is not going to be very interesting for us because they're probably not going to give us too much information about what it is they're seeking. And then we've got the scheduling issue for the AP. So those are coming up for Kohberger around lunchtime for the first, two. It probably won't take all 3 hours, but those are coming up. Then tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we have Solomon Anderson, Zachariah Anderson's brother, who will be on the program here as a special guest. And just like you guys were amazing and incredibly kind and polite with Dr. G, I'd ask you to do the same with Solomon tomorrow. I am really looking forward to talking to him and hearing his side of different things because he has some information as a member of the family and a perspective on that whole trial that is different from ours. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of listening and maybe ask some questions, and probably doing a lot of learning tomorrow as I talk with him. So that's going to be awesome. So that's coming up. That will get us through probably jury selection if they don't air jury selection in this trial, in the Family Feud trial. But okay, so now we need, let me close this one down. All right, I've missed all your comments about what you did over the weekend, and I have not seen anything. Thomas, the Kohberger judge is bugging me with no live video. The Kohberger judge is Judge, I believe. I think they changed. And can somebody tell me why? I did not see why we had a change from the judge before to Judge. But there's been a shift in the signing of the paperwork. I'm not sure if it was a scheduling thing or what. Tammy, thanks for renewing your membership. Couldn't wait to be gifted another. Wonderful. So what time tomorrow? Tomorrow is going to be 10 o'clock, VC, for Solomon. And let me just tell you, in the conversation I had with him, just lining things up, I told him, I said, I don't want to talk about everything that we want to talk about because I'd like it to be new and us to have to go over it for the first time in front of the audience, you guys, instead of having everything pre-discussed and we know what each other's answers would be. So I don't know exactly where it's going to go. I don't know exactly what he's going to tell us, what he's going to say. But I was very impressed with him as an individual, both with his ability to articulate his opinion and his side, as well as his ability to do so in a logical way, and it's not just an emotional appeal. It's not just he doesn't use the yelling and screaming and the drama to try to win people over, but he really does. And he said, I look forward to talking to people who have a different opinion than mine, so I can share my side. So I'm super excited for that. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. KT, that was not what I was looking for the weekend. You went to the ER. Great fun. That's not good. That's not good. Milk addiction is going strong. Thank you for checking up on me, Rosie. It's doing good. Let's see. Cannot wait to hear from Solomon. He's amazing. Lil Miss. Solomon is Zachariah Anderson's brother. He's been on a few different channels. I will say that some of the channels he was on, I don't think they treated him very nicely. They weren't respectful, and I've promised him that we will be different, that he won't have that same experience here that he's had at some other places. So I would ask for your support in chat in doing that, even if you disagree, even if you 100% feel the jury absolutely got this right and they should have thrown the book at him, even if you feel exactly opposite from anything he says, which I've told him right now, I side with the jury. I've told him that up front, but I would ask that we be very polite to our guests. It would mean the world to me. Love listening to jury selection. What's your favorite jury selection excuse when people try to say, Your Honor, I can't serve because X, Y, Z? It's always, generally the first ones that pop up are the ones that say, I can't serve because I have to work. And they're like, okay, tell me more. Tell me more. They're like, well, I work at a factory. I'm one of 70 people on an assembly line, and if I'm gone, and the judge is like, We'll see on jury service. Occasionally, you get someone who says, "I'm the sole caretaker for an ailing parent," or other people's lives depend on me, and I can't be replaced. And sometimes they'll get excused, but we'll see. Okay, did you hear about new proof that may be crucial for Zach? No. Agnes Sky. Hopefully we'll hear about it from Solomon tomorrow, though. That would be interesting. As much as Sandy, thank you very much. As much as I've told you that I felt that the jury got it right. I, with 100% of my heart and soul and mind, believe that if something was done wrong in the process, he should have a new trial. Even though I personally, as I stand right now, I feel that the jury got it right. If there was anything done that was unfair in that process that affected the outcome of that trial, I believe he should have a new trial, because I believe the process we go through to reach a result is just as important as the result. The end can't justify the means in this case, or in any cases like this. We will be covering Kohberger. We will be covering Kohberger, but it's going to be delayed. G and Blue Parrot. It's going to be delayed. The judge has ordered no live streaming. So we have to wait until the hearings are over. I came home from the hospital finally, so playing catch up, Lil Miss. Hope you're feeling better. Good to have you here. This last weekend I got a delivery ready for pickup notification on the package I sent you. Okay, it's I went Saturday. I just missed the closing. My mailman, the office is a small mail office, and they close down early on Saturdays. And so I went and I got the notice that there was a package that didn't fit in the tiny little cubby hole that they give me for a post office box. So I've got the little slip. I just have to go there when they're open and get it. So Reverend Beezy, I'm super excited about that. Oh man, Eileen, sick. No, good. Hopefully we can lighten your day a little bit as you get better. Katie, I'm okay, pulled a major muscle in my back and was home alone. Oh, my goodness. Oh, KT, I am sorry. Hopefully the meds made that a little bit better once they did kick in, but going to the ER is not a fun thing to do ever. Let's see, we're looking for jury selection still. See if we get some of the local news sites there in Illinois might be covering this as well. I think WGEM TV has done some coverage. Let's see. They're doing national news. Man, I was hoping we'd get jury selection. I'm not seeing it popping up yet. If somebody sees something, do let me know from any source there. It's not my thing from Jury Duty. It's just not my thing. Jury Duty is a fantastic video series. I don't know if I buy the premise of the show that one of the participants is completely oblivious to the fact that it's all fake, but it's a fantastic show to watch. I know that person. That's a good one. Everyone has a right to their opinion. It's too important at work. They need me. I'm too important. Hope we get to see jury selection. I've never gotten to see it. It's so good. It is so good. Oh, man, KT, I am sorry That is not fun at all. Good morning, Johnny Bose. Good to have you here. Welcome. Let's see. Last night after Brandy JT, I stumbled upon a live stream that might be of interest. Keisha, the aunt of JJ Vallow, has a channel called Difficult Research. Maybe could be a guest. Gail, that would be interesting. The aunt of JJ Vallow. I imagine she's got quite a bit of information with those connections. I have a kickbox class and I'm pregnant, says Chris Carroll. Wow. Those are some great excuses. I assume that's still on the excuse list for jury duty. Looking forward to hearing what Solomon has to say. I'm interested in hearing a different perspective and what they might appeal with. I think they have a couple routes they can go with appeals. Obviously, you can't just file an appeal because you don't like the outcome of the jury reached. An appeal has to be filed based on something that happened during the trial that was wrong, was inappropriate. There was either evidence allowed in that should not have been in, a ruling made by the judge that was in error, that violated one person's rights or went against the law. There has to be something like that, and they have to find that not only did this occur, but it occurring impacted the case, and thus the outcome could have been different had it not happened, and that's when you win an appeal. Favorite excuse: I have to feed my cat. The judges lately in a couple of these trials have let the jury go home every night, not sequestered them. We haven't seen a sequestered trial since. Was Murdaugh sequestered? I think Murdaugh was sequestered. That might be the last one. I guess that's not too long ago. Would you believe that I'm 74 and got served for jury duty? I hope they accept me, says Vicky. I hope they do as well. Just because you're 74, if you would like to serve, I think you should be able to.
I'm not a cat.
Will Solomon be able to answer all the damaging evidence? VC, I don't know. I'm not going to. I told him I'm not going to try to blindside him and pin him down. I would like to hear where he's coming from. I'd like to hear their side. I'd like to hear how they feel. We're not going to try to relitigate the whole case with him on the phone that way, but we'll try to focus more on the appeal side and what they believe went wrong during the trial. Tammy says, spent my weekend taking care of my 8-year-old with double ear infection, trying to figure out MRI results, tumor on my spine. Never good. Never Google medical results without asking the doc first. Tammy, I am so sorry. On both, double ear infection with an 8-year-old, the poor kid, and you with the MRI results. Hopefully the doc has good news. Good news, because the internet can be a scary place with the worst case scenarios. My husband got out of jury duty because he knew the suspects and they went to school together. That helps. That helps a lot. Mom and I went to a local minor league baseball game yesterday. Love baseball. It's a lot of fun. Zia's brother will be on Viva and Barnes. You DM Viva and tell him to be nice. Yes, he's going to be on a couple different shows. He has been on several, and he's continuing to go around to spread the word. And we'll talk a little bit about that, about what word they're spreading and what they're asking people to do if they agree with him. So we'll be sharing that information as well. Lots of childcare excuses. I'd use that. Yes, but generally, if you're in a 2-parent home, childcare typically. I think this is a spam call. Should we do a spam call this early in the morning? Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good morning. My name is Eric, and I'm calling today to let you know that your state Senate is getting ready to vote on House Bill 346, a bill that would cut the government red tape so North Carolina-based businesses can do more to lower healthcare costs and increase access to care for families and businesses. So do you agree that we should lower healthcare costs?
What's the title of the bill?
Yeah. House Bill 346.
Yeah, that's the number. What's the title?
I don't have it here. So, but I can transfer your call to the censor's office for free. You can ask them by yourself.
Is that the Reorganization and Economic Development Act?
No.
Well, my bill tracker shows so that's what the name of. Do you know what the bill is? I mean, have you read it? Do you know who the sponsor is? It's Representative Bradford's bill, right?
Yes, sir. I don't have this information. I only know the information I've told you. So if you have any further questions, you can ask them to your Senate office.
So are you just raising money today?
Yeah. So if you want, I can transfer your call to the censor's office for free. And if you don't want, it's okay. Have a good one.
I don't know why you're calling me. That's why I'm curious. Do you want money?
Yeah, I'm just asking about your opinion. No. I'm not asking for anything.
Okay, so
that's it.
So
yeah, that's all.
I don't know how you can ask me questions about something you don't even know the title of the bill.
All right. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Have a
I'm
great
not
day.
a fan to waste your time, and I don't want to waste mine either. So
no, it's all right. You're on live on the internet. We're on a TV show right now. So thanks for calling in. I do appreciate you. I don't know how you got the number, but thank you. All right. I was giving him a little bit of a hard time. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Colorado girl, welcome to the gallery. Good to have your name in blue. Light blue. Love that. Yeah, he didn't know the name of the bill, but that is Representative Bradford's bill. I just looked it up. I Googled it while he was on the phone, and I'm not sure what he wanted. He couldn't get there. I was trying to stall a little bit to see if he would give me a little bit of information, but there was nothing forthcoming. So it might have just been a survey. But my state, North Carolina, happens to be a state where you register for political office at the DMV. Like when you get your driver's license, you register for whatever party you would like to vote for. And then they give that information to everybody. So political calls, constant here. Anyway, thanks for calling in. Yes, I appreciate him being there. Where in Illinois is the new trial? This is in Quincy, Sarah, in Quincy, which I believe is Adams County. Adams County, Quincy, Illinois. Why does Quincy sound so familiar? What is it famous for? Or why is the name sound like we've been here before? How can give an opinion on a number? Yeah, they just want to know if I approve or disapprove of a number that they don't even know the title. It sounded like a little bit of a scam. I should have talked to him about church for sure. It's good fun. I admire Solomon for trying to help his brother, but there is not any real reason to let Zach off the hook. Last poet, I agree that I still think the jury got it right, but I don't have all the information that Solomon has, that Zach has, that his lawyers have. There was decisions that were made when the microphones were off that I'm not aware of. And if those decisions were wrong, or if something happened in the case that should have been allowed but the judge shot down, that would be a reason for a retrial and to start over. If you remember at the beginning of this trial, Zachariah Anderson trial, even during the opening statements, we thought there is no way this is going to a jury. This will end in a mistrial before we get there. And so many times during that case, we thought this is the end. This is it. We've crossed over a line too far. The judge cannot bring us back from off this precipice. We're in free fall, and somehow we ended up not getting a mistrial. So there are a lot of things that happened that might deserve another look, for sure. Good excuse here from Twubble. I'm a police officer and the scumbag is guilty. So, Megathor, yeah, if you're going to call me and try to scam me out of something, do a good job of it. Earn my hard-earned dollars. 65 is the cutoff age in Vancouver for a jury service. Man, that's sad. Because 65, you have experienced a great deal of life. You have insights and knowledge and ability that just because you're 65, it doesn't go away. That's strange. I think that some of our greatest assets in the community are some of our more experienced members of society, those who have been around and seen things happen and know history and understand, right from wrong, and have just seen what's a fad and what's a trend and what is, what's real.
Like Murdoch stole it.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. All right. Okay. Doesn't think it was a fair verdict. If Chaser Via doesn't think it's a fair verdict, I imagine they'll be very, very fair to Zach. Christy, thank you for that. Solomon is not Zach and has not been accused of anything other than supporting his brother. Gypsy, thank you so much. Solomon is an amazing guy. He really is. He has given me absolutely no reason to doubt his sincerity in what he is doing, as well as just his... just him as a character. He is a nice gentleman, and very well spoken. I think once you hear him speak, even if you don't agree with him, you'll agree that he should probably go to law school, because he would be a great attorney. So I'm super excited. Tomorrow is going to be amazing that way. Okay, he did sound nervous. I questioned him. I do feel bad sometimes. Not really, but when it says potential scam on my phone, I'd give him a hard time. All right. Okay. He wants your opinion about something he doesn't know about. Okay. Let's see. I still am not seeing a feed. Let me see if anybody has it. Has anybody seen a feed on the jury selection? I'm going to need some water here in just a second. Plenty of bad news people out there to talk about. Well, bummer. Quincy is historic. I'm in Illinois, about an hour away. What happened in Quincy? I mean, I realize it's an old town. It is time to hydrate. Sharon, thank you. I shan't delay any further. I spilled 2 drops on my note paper, but that's it. Okay, let's see, maybe I missed this. Isn't there a court date today related to Kohberger? Mike, there is. There's 3, I think 3 things on the agenda for Kohberger. Michaela, let me see what your link was really quickly. Let's see, Brian. Let's see. Sent a link for Brian Ensign's feed. He's outside the courtroom waiting to get in. It's just a handheld feed there. Okay, I think that was it. Oh, there's a graduation picture for Bryson. Graduated from high school Friday. OSU School of Engineering next stop. Aeronautical and mechanical engineers. You can see and you can share the pic. Okay, I can share this one. Let's see if I can get it to my laptop successfully. Tis the season for graduates, moving on in the world. My oldest son's now been away from us for about a week. Moved out of state. So let's see. It's not liking me. Let's see. Take to added. Why will it not give me my pictures? Well, I will try to share it, but it's not there. It won't. My computer's not updating, and it's giving me problems. We'll have to probably reboot it. Do apologize for that. Deanna, the audio bird, welcome to the gallery. Good to have you here, Deanna. Thank you so much. Good to have that new color courthouse by your name. Thank you. So yes, noontime. Bryan Kohberger is going to have the first of his 3 hearings. Whimsical Druid says, did you see the state prosecutor mouthing the things that the fellow inmate witness was saying during testimony? That was icky, in my opinion. Whimsical, I did see that. I think if we were to go back and watch the entire trial, and you can if you want to go back, it's on my playlist. You can watch the entire trial. There, you will see other times where he did the same thing in a different scenario, where he was not so much. Well, I think all of them were. He was still asking questions, but it shows that he is a very active listener and that he mouths the words of things. And where this was something that was repeated over and over and over, to me, it didn't seem like it happened at the same time. I mean, I edit video. I've done it for a living. I've syncing things up to have the frame be exactly right is something I'm good at doing. And it seemed to me like the audio from the witness came first, and then the reaction with his mouth came second. Still inappropriate, or still looks bad. But that's it. Did I get eaten by mosquitoes on your camping trip? 0 mosquitoes, Jennifer. 0. I guess the rain actually helped us in that regard. No mosquitoes. There were some flies that came out the next morning, right as we were leaving. Like it had dried up enough for some flies to land on us, but they weren't biting flies, just little tiny flies. Can we watch some clips of Timothy on Family Feud? Some of his answers were kind of creepy in hindsight. I can't watch that for copyright issues, but yes, there's some weird stuff out there. Hey, this is Recovery Addict. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Big Tire, John.
Hey, John. How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Good. What's on your mind this morning?
Hey, I'm not too bad. What's that?
What's on your mind this morning?
Hey, I tried to get a question into you. Mm-hmm. I am exhilarated to find out. Going through some health issues. Going on my 3rd kidney operation, and I've got to go in for a 4th on June 15th. Now, here's the kicker. Mm-hmm. I got my jury summons for June 22nd.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm opening it right now. I'm like jumping up and down going, all right, I'm finally going to get to go.
Wow.
And
all hits at the same time.
Let's thank the Lord that the doc can get the rest of this. I have a 19 millimeter stone of all things.
Oh, man. That does not sound fun. Luckily, the surgeries for those are generally very successful and fairly not intrusive. So hopefully the mend time is quick. Would that be enough time to mend and get you in for jury service? Or
I think so. I just had my 3rd one on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So, they leave a stent inside there. It's about 1 foot long to keep from the kidney to the bladder open.
Yeah.
And they used the laser and pulverized most of it, and it just got so dirty and dusty. He said, we're going to have, we got to go back in. So I'm going to ask him for some help me through juror status medication.
Like, Doc, look, you got to get me to the courthouse. Okay, I've got an appointment. It's not a wedding. It's more important than that. It's jury service. Oh man, John, that'd be awesome.
I'll let you go real quick. I getting up there near that magical age of 60.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been 40 years since the last time I got a summons, and I'm like really needing to go.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Hopefully everything works out health-wise for that, and you get to go serve, and you get just a perfect case. And if you do, once it's all over, I cannot wait to talk to you about it.
Oh, absolutely. If there's anything I could do legally, I'll keep everybody informed for sure.
Awesome, John. Well, good luck to you on the health side of it. Good talking to you.
Thank you very much. Yep. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, man, the jury duty. I'm not sure if there's ever a really good time. I mean, who is it that has like, well, I've got nothing happening this month. Oh, and look, I just got a jury summons. It usually doesn't happen like that. Usually it's I just scheduled my cruise trip, and now my jury summons shows up in the mail, or like that. But maybe it'll work out. Court is now in session. Matthew Harris says, "Dang, I left that option out of how to get out of jury video." There are a couple ways that you can do it. I was talking to a lawyer who I learned a lot about the lawyer in my discussion with him, because Matthew he didn't he also gave me the how to get out of jury duty advice, but his advice I believe was illegal. Like, honestly, I think it was straightforward. It's against the law just to lie to get out of jury service. So I won't be following that advice if I ever get it. I do want to serve, too. Depending on how high his number is, he may not get called this time around. It took like 4 rounds for me to finally get called to a trial. Are we watching the trial today? James, we're trying to. With the trial, we're picking up. This Family Feud trial begins jury selection today. This is a fast. It's a rush trial. I believe that they did not waive the right to a speedy trial, so the states had to move forward with this pretty quickly. The murder itself only happened back on February 23rd. So he was arrested 2 months ago. This is very quick for a murder trial, which I like, because first of all, I hope the same thing happens with Bryan Kohberger. Just because I think they've done enough homework there that they're not going to miss anything. I believe they can convict him with what they have. But I hate it when it just takes years and years and gets dragged out. I like a speedy trial. I think the right to a speedy trial is very important. And even when they waive it, I still like a speedy trial. Not sure where I was going with that one. I hate when you show up for summons and there's 500 others there and they only need 12. This is Rudy Patootie. Tweet from local news. Potential jurors have entered the courtroom. 4 are missing, but Judge Adrian says the first 8 are here. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. Who's tweeting this one for you, Adam? Where's your local connection? Since it's in your county, Adam, you're gonna have to let us know. For all related rivals, we've decided that we're covering the Timothy Blifnick alleged murder of his wife. We're awaiting jury selection. We're hoping to get footage. We were hoping that it would happen today. We got, on the down low, we heard that it was going to be coming through, but I'm not sure if the judge went along with that or not. So it sounds like, yes, lying during jury selection is aggravated perjury. Shame on that lawyer. Well, he's a criminal defense lawyer, so what can you expect, Matthew? Just kidding. Will BK be live today? Erica, yes and no. The judge in BK's case, Judge, has ordered that cameras can be in the courtroom. They can record. They can share the video. They just can't rebroadcast it. They can't stream it. They have to wait till the proceedings are over for them to air. So yes and no. Yes, it will be filmed live, and then it will be shown later today. So we'll have audio and video. It's not going to be like Lori Vallow where we just have the audio. We'll have both, but it's just going to be delayed. So it's not going to start. Nothing with the Kohberger's case is going to start till about 9 o'clock Idaho time, which I believe he's right on the edge of the state. So I think he's in Pacific time, which is what Siri seems to be telling me on my watch. So noon time, we've got an hour and a half before his first hearing begins. We're just killing time. Well, if they can seat a jury quickly and get to opening statements, that would be good as well. Let's see. Being legally disabled to never get jury summons, but the police were flabbergasted when I was excited to receive a subpoena for being a witness in an attempted murder trial. Like, yay! This is the next best thing. I like jury duty because of my fascination with the whole court system. Proud Mama, it gives you a different perspective to be on the inside and seeing that. Adam, thank you very much. KHQA News. Let me do a quick check on them. News in Quincy. Please tell me you do some live stuff. We've got a general alert. Let's see more. So they've given an update this morning. The jury selection is scheduled to begin. Tim Blifnick is 40 years old. He's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of home invasion with the intent to cause injury. So his wife was Rebecca Bliefnick. They have 3 kids together. They were separated, were estranged. There were a couple hearings that happened leading up to this that were interesting. First of all, the judge basically sealed all the motions, pretrial motions. So we have very little information about what's been going on back and forth, which normally we get to see, we get to hear, and gives us an idea of what's coming up. But he sealed that, saying it might taint the jury. So we don't know until, I believe those are going to be unsealed once the jury's seated. So we might get a document dump in this case right as soon as the case starts, which will be fun to get all that, and we can go through. Martha Emery, hey, my courthouse changed. It did. Looks good in blue. Thank you so much, Martha. Good to have you here as well. Let's see. So the jurors are there at the courthouse, 9. The afternoon session starts at 1:30 p.m. The jurors will be brought in 4 at a time for questioning. There will be 12 jurors and 4 alternates. And they say that the arguments are going to begin tomorrow. So here's what's going to happen with the arguments happening tomorrow. Our interview with Solomon takes precedence over this, but we're not going to miss anything. We'll probably be with Solomon for about an hour, maybe a little over an hour, depending on his schedule. I know he's got a brand new baby in the house. He's on paternity leave right now, which helps, but I've got to be mindful of that. So after we spend our time with Solomon, we're going to play catch up. We'll play the feed on high speed to get us back up to where we should be, and probably by the end of the day we'll be back up with the live stream from court. So we'll do that on Tuesday for that. Let's see, a little more background on this case for those that are a little curious or don't know much about it. Becky was a nurse at Blessing Hospital. She was found dead with multiple gunshot wounds. And she has 3 young boys. They found her after she failed to go to school and pick up her kids after school. So Tim had filed for divorce in January, but he was arrested on March 13th for her murder, which occurred on February 23rd. So if he's found guilty, worst case scenario in Illinois, he could face 45 years to life in prison. He'll have to serve 100% of his sentence on a murder conviction. On the home invasion conviction, he would have to serve 85%. So if he gets murder, it's a minimum of 45 years. He's 40 years old. That means he wouldn't get out until he's 85 if just everything went the minimum possible. Okay. Let's see if... Trying to see if I can get KHQA, if they're going to do a live feed of any of this. Not seeing it, unfortunately. Okay, so where are we at? Let me answer a few more questions. Did they remove the FF episode, or is it online? Why is FF episode not ringing a bell for me? KHQA. Okay. Oh, the Family Feud episode. I have not watched any of them. I've only watched the quick outtakes that are included in some of like the Court TV did a special on it. I think Newsweek or somebody did a special on it. They've got a couple different segments there. Looking forward to Yellow Courthouse. It's coming soon. A couple of you are getting very close to that. Ches Mates, hi from the Gold Coast of Australia. Good to have you here from down under. Good morning, Don, up in Wisconsin as well. Oh, it's Nicole's birthday. Nicole, happy birthday. Is it anyone else's birthday? We didn't hear anyone's earlier. I'm glad that you piped up. We'll let the birthday song play for you just briefly here to celebrate yet another trip around the sun. Successful, I might add. I was guessing Forensic Files. Yeah, FF instead of Family Feud. Thank you for that. Nicole, happy birthday. Hope you had a fabulous birthday. Hopefully you do something wonderful and fun to celebrate that. Make some memories. Okay, the KHQA's online but jury selection hasn't started yet. I'm looking there at several different feeds from them, both through Facebook, through Twitter. We're sort of trying to stay up on that as best we can, following all their notifications. Potential jurors have heard all the rules and have been sworn in as they prepare for questioning. We're getting live tweeting is all. So it might be tomorrow before we pick it up. Opening statements are scheduled for tomorrow. Several potential jurors have not shown up to the courthouse. Judge Robert Adrian says the court will not be waiting all morning and has discussed a new plan. The potential jurors have entered the courtroom. 4 are missing, but the first 8 are there. Adam, we'll keep an eye on this as this develops. You know what happens when you don't show up for jury duty? Matthew, what happens when you don't show up for jury duty?
Call from
Jason.
Hey, Jason. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great this evening.
Oh, this evening. Yes, you're in Taiwan. It's a little bit different. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah. I'm doing great. And shout out hello to everybody, all the members, all the lurkers, and everybody else in between. And I'm calling in. I want to mention just a couple things. You're still waiting on the stream, right?
Yeah, it looks like the stream is not forthcoming. We might have to wait till tomorrow. So we might have to shift and focus on Kohberger as that's happening in about an hour and a half. But we're getting updated via tweets. But maybe tomorrow we'll actually get the video.
At least have something.
Yep.
I wanted to first tell you that I was watching a replay of some videos a couple days ago, and I saw somebody called in from England, and you thought it was me. I'm just letting you know it wasn't me.
Wasn't you.
I had not yet. I hadn't called yet.
All right.
But I appreciate you thinking of me.
The prefix looked the same, I thought. So maybe it was an 88 instead of an 886 or something, but it's all good.
Okay. And I wanted to add a comment.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's not disturbing anything. Add a comment on the VA's trial and his and the prosecution. I can't remember his name, but the main lawyer in the prosecution.
It was Attorney Gravely?
Probably. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I watched all of that in detail, all of you through it and everything, and I think he seemed like a kind of lawyer who is not always like getting on people's nerves. He seemed like somebody who really had, I feel, even though I didn't agree with a lot of things he said or a lot of things he did, I feel he has empathy for people. And I felt like he's done it so much that he made it look like he's just a run-of-the-mill kind of lawyer who's going to prosecute people and get what he wants. But I don't think that's really what he was trying to do. I just think he's just so used to his job that it looked like that. And as for words, mouthing words, one thing's for sure, I don't think he mouthed words after, even if if you synced it up and you're sure his words came after,
I'm not.
That would be strange, you know.
I'm not convinced that it was after. It just seemed like it wasn't before, like it wasn't coaching him.
Right. That I could agree with. I think we didn't see enough, and there's a lot of angles, all the other channels, or maybe the raw footage would be able to clearly know what happened. But yeah. I think it was either at the same time or before. But as for, I also feel like maybe there was once or twice that maybe he had the intention of mouthing, but most of the time I think he's so gung ho with it, and the vibe and the
just in the moment, and
how do you say that?
His lips just weren't going with
feeling,
it.
And I feel that's what he was doing.
Yeah, I agree.
Built this much on their phones that's why they both agreed to not pursue it further. I think they didn't want this to turn into an investigation and ruin each other's careers.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting. Yeah. The judge as well. The judge had this was basically his last big trial. He's still going to be a judge, but he's pretty much just doing civil stuff. We probably won't see Judge Schroeder in another big criminal trial after this.
I miss him. I like him, and I know there's a lot of controversy behind him, especially when it comes to the other case that he ruled over regarding what was his name? Anyway, I probably don't want to mention it, but
yeah, the guy who used a AK-47, shot someone at a rally.
Yeah. And I know we all have our different opinions, and that's not what we should, based on whether we like him or not. And at the same time, I think he does have maybe some issues. You know, if you're being in that court and your life depends on it, I don't know as though I necessarily would want him as the judge, because I'm a little bit worried he might get carried away because he allows his thought process to be public. But at the same time, I think there's something great about it that I really enjoy. Maybe it's because from a viewer's perspective, we enjoy that. But if we were in the court, we would not want that.
Yeah. He does seem to lose his temper, which I think of all the things you should be able to control. I think your temper is key, especially when you're in a position controlling a courthouse, controlling the interactions that really is determining someone's future for their life. And he does have moments where he seems to lose his temper, which, although they make great sound bites, at the same time I sort of cringe from that, being like, is he going to make a decision based on losing his temper and be like, fine, this type thing,
That's one thing that made it intriguing for me, because every time I thought he was losing his temper, I then realized he had some sort of reasoning behind it. It wasn't just losing temper, and I do think he did lose his temper, but it's like he had some sort of reasoning behind it. It wasn't like he just lose his temper and then that would be it. At least that's what I felt. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he did a good job of
explaining.
I
think he's a nice guy.
Explaining things. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Good to hear from you all the way from Taiwan, Jason. Great to keep tabs on you. Make sure things are going well. Have a great night for as long as you're able to.
Okay,
to
I'll
stay
clear
with
up the line.
All right. Thank you. We'll catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I just got a message here from Joyce. Says, I'll try this one more time. I'm sorry, Joyce, I missed it. Says, Recover Addict. Wow, we are covering the Blifnick trial, or Blifnick, sorry. I grew up with Tim's dad, Ray. He was included on Tim's dead wife order of protection. Joyce, you have information that we don't have. This is interesting. I would love to hear as this goes along. Obviously, we're not trying to. We try to view the trial much like the jury would. So I'm not looking for that inside scoop of things that are not relevant or couldn't be presented in court as evidence. But if you can give us perspective as things begin, as we have opening statements, apparently they're starting tomorrow morning. I would love for you to be able to keep updating us and just help us understand these things, as it's all going to be new to us starting tomorrow. And you apparently will have a little more information on that. Jenny Cruz is here. Good morning. Good to have you here. Last week of school starts today, and then it's summertime. Yes, for kids in my area as well. I say kids in my area because we do homeschool, and generally we school through the summer as well. We just have little breaks periodically. But it's a good one. Kit T says, Recover Addict. I was living overseas and received a jury summons 2 months after the date I was to be at the courthouse. I panicked. You check the courthouse, make sure you don't have a warrant out for your arrest. Kelly J, I missed something. How far do I need to go back for this topic? Kelly, which one? What did we miss? Curious to know how you'll respond in the matter of your live stream briefly playing in court. Comes up with Solomon tomorrow. Yes, I've specifically told him I would like to talk with him about that and to get his take on that. So I plan on that coming up tomorrow, and I would love to hear what he thinks. When I was on jury duty, someone was a no-show. The sheriff went to the house and got him. Just dragged him down there in their PJs. Guess what? You're serving on jury. Okay, Access Hollywood has a YouTube clip of the Family Feud game. There are a couple people that have the clips, and it's out there. It's harder for me to use that clip under fair use, and it receives more scrutiny than using trial footage. So I have to be very careful of that. Carmen Burgess gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Carmen, for that. Let's see who received it. Looks like it went to Pi Lisa. Congratulations, and thank you very much. Smile Jin Loves You says, recovery addict in North Carolina. My daughter missed the first week of school this year, online learning, and is missing the last week because of vacation. First and last is shortening it down by a couple weeks. That's a good thing sometimes. Ray and Amy, Tim's parents, says Joyce, are quite prominent members of the community about an hour south of where Tim lived. It's been a huge topic of conversation around here. It does have a lot of local interest as well. You mentioned the local interest. It's got national interest because of the game show. Obviously, that sort of title gets people attention. It's like, hey, Family Feud, guy makes a comment about his wife and now he kills her. That's the sort of idea that has people nationally talking about it, but apparently locally they're known as well. The family, when they were on the Family Feud, there was like a huge watch party organized. Like the community got together and they're like, hey, let's all watch them on Family Feud. What you were just talking about, I have the memory of a goldfish. If you need any more information or if you want me to talk about something more, just let me know or ask another question. I'm sorry, Kelly. I'm not sure if you're saying that I answered your question or if I skipped your question. If you want to call in as well on the burner phone, that would be an easy way to sort that out. Let's see. Debbie, Gravely, and Binger displayed dishonesty in the judicial process during Anderson and Rittenhouse, respectively. Joyce gives us pronunciation help as well with Blifnick. Blifnick. I probably should. It's pretty much exactly how it's written. It's Blifnick. Raymond, also known as Timothy, Timothy's father, was on protective order placed by Rebecca. They all lived within 1 mile radius of each other. The father also could not go near Rebecca. Kim, we're starting to talk about the Family Feud murder trial, which is doing jury selection as we speak. The KHQA News is in the courthouse keeping us updated on all the events as they occur. Hopefully we'll have a jury and panel today. The potential jurors have heard all the rules. They've been sworn in as they have to prepare for questioning. So there's going to be some Q&A. There are going to be some strikes. Dara says, I haven't heard of this trial. I have to research. I chose this one because it doesn't have any kids that were directly injured. Unfortunately, there were 3 young boys of this couple. This couple had 3 young boys together. And so obviously they were affected by this murder in a big way. Their mom dropped them off for school in the morning, and then they never saw her again. And she was found dead in her home. So, but we're trying to pick a trial, just a little break between the trials where kids directly are harmed. How nice of the police to provide a taxi service as well. Yes, and if you don't like it, it also has restraint services with handcuffs. Do you remember the Jenny Jones murder trial? That would be a good one to revisit. First, I remember being so widely watched because of a TV program. Yeah, things have changed a lot now that the gates have opened there. You look back to where, the first trial you heard about on TV, whether it was, OJ or Jodi Arias or, there are a couple, but it's really opened the doors to television coverage. Let's see, that was a rough one, says Bunny. Number one rule to avoid becoming involved in murder case. Make sure your name is not difficult to pronounce. Cindy's crazy. I like this rule. I choose books to read based on how easy it is to pronounce the main characters' names. So just if you want to write a book, just make sure I can say who the character is, the main character. Let's see. Do you remember the lady in the cruise trial who couldn't do jury duty because her husband is sugar daddy? She said she didn't have time. Oh, man. I don't remember how that went over with the judge. Let's see. The Georgia lawyer trial. I believe that was still... Did that one go to a verdict already? I think it was pretty quick. Or was that the other one? Hang on. Let's see. Upcoming. I know Law and Crime has a Florida versus Travis trial of ex-NFL football player murder trial. Might be interesting to see if that trial brings up concerns about concussions and violence. So Ray and Amy did not live near Tim, but somehow Ray inserted himself into their lives and divorced enough to be included on her order of protection. I believe Brandy is, Carol. So R.A. doesn't read any fantasy novels. I do, DMB. I read some, and some of them I violate my own rule. Like I like David Eddings and Terry Brooks and some of the big ones that way. I liked Wells, The Invisible Man, things like that. I like those, but the ones where the authors just went out and they got the 26-sided dice that have the letters on the alphabet and they just rolled the dice and that's the character's name. Those I have trouble with. My preferred strategy to getting out of jury duty is confessing to the crimes, says Adam Nusky. Oh, yeah, I've done that. So the trial that's starting, this trial starts, they're working right now. We were hoping we were going to get jury selection audio, and it looks like that's not coming through today. So we're going to be getting the opening statements start tomorrow in the Family Feud trial, which is a murder trial, estranged, a couple split up. They had filed for divorce. And they are saying that the husband killed the wife. And this is a rush trial. The murder happened in February. He was arrested in March. Here we are in May, two-thirds of the way through May, and we're already going to trial on this one. So this is quick. The state has not had time to, research everything for the last 3 years and stack up all sorts of evidence. It might be very, very quick. It's cool seeing RA work on home screen. The big screen over there, I have to make it full screen like this so I can see. Which is funny because I think this is like a 42 or 43-inch television over there. I have in a box in the other room a 55-inch television ready to go. All it needs to be is plugged in, but we're going to be installing that one in the Airbnb. And so I'm using the small one while I'm giving the guests the nice TV. So it's Kohberger then. Yeah, we've only got Kohberger left this afternoon as we're keeping updates from KHQA live tweets on the Family Feud. Tim on Family Feud and what he looks like now. Brooke, you look at the Family Feud picture. It's actually on the thumbnail for this live stream. The Family Feud picture was in the bottom right-hand corner. And if you notice, I replaced his name with the number 24601, which is the number for Jean Valjean, just to show he was potentially in custody now. But he is the same guy that's up in the top right-hand corner with the long hair. The same dude. Looks very, very different. Whimsical Druid says, I'm a massive rugby uniform fan, and they suffer from concussions, and I'm unaware of cases of violence. By the way, love David Eddings. Have you read Raymond E. Feist, the Magician series? I have not, but I'm going to write it down. Because my wife goes to the library twice a week and checks out all their books, like all of them. Raymond E. Feist. I'll check it out. On KHQA, they mentioned cases going to trial quicker due to the Safety Act. Sounds like a state thing. The divorce in this case included TROs for the father-in-law, also by the victim. Let's see, we've got some... Just watching the Bryan Kohberger thing as well. Do you have a link to your Airbnb? Carmen, it's not up yet, and when it is up, it actually won't be through Airbnb officially. It's through a service that only serves traveling nurses. We live in an area nearby a big hospital area, and so there's a big demand for housing for traveling nurses that tend to come in and stay for a few weeks and then go. They're a great clientele. They generally are very respectful of properties and just nice people in general. Nurses are good people. And so it's one that my business partner and I both have an interest. His wife is a traveling nurse herself, and so we found the connections that way, and he's built another one of these, and it's working well. So we're going to finish ours and work on it together. But there may be some other options as well, opportunities where it could be open up. If the state is smart, they're building their case before the arrest. They know they did, Mr. Opertor. So there were press conferences where the police came out and said, "Hey, be patient, be patient. I know you guys want an arrest. There's a murder, and that seems like nobody's been caught. Just be patient. We're working on things." And then they were able to come out and arrest him. I think they did their work. We saw that same thing in the Kohberger trial. The public was like, "Hey, why is there no information?" And unfortunately, in Kohberger's case, there was conflicting information back and forth. There's like, "Oh, we have no idea who it is, but there's no reason for community concern. It could be anybody, but don't be concerned." That was interesting. But similar things in this case out of Illinois with the Family Feud murder. The police, I think, did their homework and then announced and said, "We're confident. We're not going to arrest anyone else. We've got the guy." Okay, we have Survey Man in the top 5 answers on the board. Why don't you spend FFest Phil winnings on number 1 bail for murdering your wife? Is this are you typing out the questions from Family Feud from his appearance? He does look very different. I don't see his picture. You might have to. I don't know. Let's see if I can show the picture. Just one second. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I'll show you the picture right here. This is the picture we had. Let me get me out of the way first. This is a picture we had for the program, just the placeholder. So in the bottom right-hand corner, that's Tim. In the top left-hand corner, that's also Tim. His wife holding the boy on her lap, and with the 2 other boys next to her. That's she was the victim. Obviously, the boys are also victims, but not direct victims of violence. They're victims because their mom's dead, and allegedly it was caused by their dad. So those are the pictures. Very, very different. I'm a nurse and I travel, but not for work, just for fun. Thanks for the nurse shout out. Nurses are awesome. And the work they do, oh my goodness. Credo Kids, we haven't missed anything. We're missing jury selection. That's happening right now. The juries are being asked questions by the 2 sides to make sure they can be fair and impartial. And as soon as they seat the jury, which is going to be 12 jurors and 4 alternates, then we're going to go ahead and begin with the opening statements. But they say that those won't happen until tomorrow morning. Yeah, they work and they sleep. That's about it. It's very rare that they would throw a big house party. Yeah, we're catering to them. The house is going to be very well designed to have everything they need to be able to get incredible rest. So we're spending the good money on just amazing mattresses. Nice bed, great lighting. Facilities for getting ready during the day, eating the food, and going, and then if you need to kick back with the TV, that's an option as well. Okay. Love the idea of the house. It's amazing. It's only an 800 square foot house. It has 2 little bedrooms. So that if they want to split up the cost and have a second person there, they can do that. Trying to get RA hooked on the bananas history to that case. Okay, so send me more information if you're trying to get me hooked on it, or give me a call. Either way, if you're available. Les Mis reference for the win. Why don't you put the 55-inch TV in your studio and put the old one in the B&B? Because my TV here, it's not as friendly for connections like Android, Apple AirPlay type thing. The other TV has a few more features, and I'd like it so whoever stays in the Airbnb, it just works with whatever device they bring in. It just does what is expected. So we're also giving them 2 gigabit fiber internet, so they'll have the best internet you can find. Is one side of his hair longer than the other, or is it really disheveled? I think it was just sort of disheveled, but it was very long. I normally don't like an Airbnb because I don't want to end up on one of these murder shows, but I would totally stay there. Carmen, it's a fun little place. I will tell you, we have rabbits. Like some people have like mice and stuff and rats that live in their around. The rodents that we have in the area are rabbits. They're wild rabbits, and we have one that was hopping around in our little patio area, which is brick. It's just like all the spare bricks they ordered when they built the house back in 1910 or whatever. They just laid them on their side, and that's our patio surface. So it's a little bit uneven. I've got to do a lot of work on it. But there was a rabbit back there. I'm like, why is the rabbit sitting on the bricks? Usually they sit in the grass. And then we saw there was a little baby rabbit. And so the normal rabbit is about, I don't know, yay tall. The baby rabbit is just like, it would fit in my hands. It's just tiny, tiny. And so I walked out to look at it, and the baby rabbit hops into the bushes and just holds still. And it just blends in. You can't see it. And the mom hopped away and just waited. But I did not catch the baby rabbit. Anyway, so we have Airbnb and baby rabbits. Let's see. Mr. Mann says, you keep an eye on the Robert Tellis developments. I am not. Please keep me in the loop. I'm trying to watch for Kohberger and the updates on the Family Feud jury selection right now. Safety Act is an absolute nightmare for law-abiding citizens. Grumpy, tell me about this. Is this an Illinois law? Let me see if I can do a quick Google on this. Safety Act, Illinois 2023. Let's do a quick in-depth check. Safety Act amendment. It creates a more equitable system where pretrial detention is based on community risk rather than financial means. Let's see. I'm not going to read the governor's side because it's going to have a spin on that one. Let's see if we can find the news outlet. WGLT. Future of cash bail in Illinois is in the hands of the state Supreme Court, says WGLT. Illinois passed a law that limited the use of cash bail. This was at the beginning of this year. Under the law, judges can no longer make people pay money to leave jail until they wait trial. Instead, they can only keep a person behind bars pre-trial if they met criteria that shows they're likely to flee or be a safety risk. Victims' rights and criminal justice advocates say limiting cash bail will make communities safer. A police group doesn't think so. Man. Lower courts ruled against the act. Separation of powers issues. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so we'll see how that plays out here. Then soon we'll have thousands of baby rabbits. Probably next week. The way I understand things work with rabbits, But I believe there's only one baby, and I know this sounds awful, but we have natural. Oh, just dropped my pen. I know that ends badly. I kept an eye on it. We have natural predators for the rabbits. We do have some snakes in the area, and as sad as that is, it is a check and a balance in the natural cycle of things. So the baby rabbits and the snakes tend to find each other. Why do people commit crime? Is it just to get on your YouTube channel? Apparently, that's the sole reason crime exists. I'm puzzled. So if I would just stop airing crimes, it would solve the whole problem. Illinois law making speedy trials is the norm is the title of article. So speedy trials, I like speedy trials for my purposes, but I'm not sure if it's better for the state, for the community. Okay, lots of comments here I'm trying to read here. You need to do a Family Feud survey. 100 people polled. Which trial made you want to join a convent? Which trial made you want to become a priest or a nun? Did you see starvation case out of Griffin, Georgia this weekend? Somebody sent me the link. Baby Bear, you sent me the link to that. I did see that. Just people are awful. People are awful. And just, you must make a photo op wall inside or out for tenants to post. Best positive advertising at your fingertips. Also get local eateries and grub hubs to give you deep discounts. A Big Tire, there's actually more demand than there's availability. So I don't have to do much advertising at all. Brian Enton, I saw some of his live streams from this morning, Samantha, up there outside the courthouse waiting to get in for the BK trial. Yeah, BK is not live streaming. Originally, they said it was GSD Mom. That's why we were confused. Originally, they said there's going to be a Zoom meeting that's open to the public, and now they've closed those Zoom meetings. Now they're in person only. There will be TVs there. We will be able to see the video today, but it will be after lunch before that happens. Scroll back up for my good news. KT actually raised both of my nieces, one's still at home, and they are amazing. I call them my children, so if it confuses everyone, I'm just explaining. Was that the good news? Raising your nieces, that is awesome. That is really good news. Let me scroll up and see if there's any more. I do have great news. My niece, I call daughter because I raised her, got engaged on the Disney cruise this past week. It's going to be a Disney wedding, KT. That is awesome. Congratulations to her and to you. That's really cool. Let's see. Mr. Upper Torso. Mrs. Mr. Upper Torso. Oh, fun pro se defendant still coming up. That's the Robert Tellis. What's the Mr. Upper Torso? Do we know a date? Like when's the next hearing, or have they scheduled it for trial yet? I'm ready for another pro se defendant. Stop, that's a tease. Bunnies. Golden Retriever used to play so gently with the baby bunnies. Smile Love, the last week's shows, we did not have a case last week, which was very quiet. We do have a case that's starting right now. They're just doing jury selection as we speak, and as soon as they have a jury, I guess they should have that today. Then tomorrow morning we'll have the opening statements. So we're going to be able to focus on the Bryan Kohberger case as it develops with 3 big developments today. We're going to have tomorrow, in addition to the opening statements for this Family Feud case, we're going to play catch up on that because we'll have Solomon Anderson, Zachariah Anderson's brother, on the show tomorrow. So that'll be good. Okay. My granddaughter Kristen is a traveling nurse and always stay in some really nice, safe Airbnbs. I'll have to ask if it's from the nurses only list. It's I don't remember the name of the website that does it, but it sounds like a furniture type company. It's a weird name, but their clientele is just nurses. Okay, catching up here.
You're talking about stuff that
is not relevant. Jen, no live stream, but we will get the video later today. So after lunch, we'll have the video of Kohberger. It's going to be everywhere at the same time. So if you want to watch it here, that would be great. If you want to watch it on Law and Crime or Court TV or East Idaho News or one of the millions of other people who are going to try to show that at the same time, we're going to try to go live with it as soon as it's available. June 2nd for the completion of this trial. That gives us a good week, a good solid week. I'm looking up classes for nursing as we speak, says Mrs. H. Misbehaving. I'm a nurse practitioner. There you go. Hey, misbehaving. We have lots of prairie dogs here. Daughter used to call them chili dogs when she was tiny. I make her a happy birthday from the chili dogs with prairie dog pics every year for the last 30 years. Let me check for you. Court TV is airing some preliminary hearing stuff from a few weeks ago, but I haven't seen a new update. I'll see what I can find. Yeah, there's not been many updates in this trial, the Family Feud trial, either, because of sealing the record and having it very quiet. So we're hoping to get sort of a document dump at the beginning of this trial. Jackie, I've never heard of a jury doing like half-day service, and it's taking forever. Who is it that's doing that? Is that what's happening in one of these current trials? Plant a vegetable garden. Where's the kickback taking it easy from? Carrie, that is from, let's see, Tennessee. I can't even remember. This is from the arraignments from, oh man, I need to go back and listen. Somebody help me here. Knoxville live arraignments. Thank you, Katrina. Knoxville, Tennessee, live arraignments. This was a gentleman that was charged with urinating in a bush in front of the Walmart, and the magistrate that was talking with him was encouraging him to fight it. The guy's the whole time he's like,
well, life's a bitch. You have to deal with it.
He's like, this is what happens. This is life. You're just gonna fight it, and
you especially want to go to court if it's bullshit charges because you get them thrown out.
He's like, well, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can. By gosh, go down and fight them. By gosh, make them work for it.
Anyway, so all those sound effects were from the same arraignment, Knoxville arraignment, and part of it, the defendant was like, well, what were you doing? He's like,
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
I'm just there at the bus stop. He had peed on the bush a while before, and then the cops came up and arrested him after he was kicked back, taking it easy. I don't know the outcome of that case. I wish I had a solid results on that one, but hopefully the magistrate's advice was followed and the guy got a break. I'm an FNP and a psych nurse. Love to all nurses. Thanks, Trins Nurse. Appreciate that very much. Thanks for what you do as well. I predict Kohberger pleads not guilty to everything, but we'll get some state evidence on the record, maybe more than just the arrest affidavit. We will get a little bit, and realize, Mr. Upper Torso, with these Kohberger trials, because of the gag order, there's supposed to be no news ever about the Kohberger trial. No news from any source, because the judge has tried to lock this down. And so every time there's a breaking news, hey, there's a grand jury indictment that's about to be announced, the judge is seething mad. Okay, there's supposed to be no news. That means somebody talked when they shouldn't have. That's bad for us because the judge feels like the news is the enemy. Anyway, there's supposed to be no news except for things that are announced in court, new filings, new paperwork, stuff that's made public as part of the court process. Those are things where we're supposed to get our news from. So as we have three things today for Mr. Kohberger, for Bryan Kohberger, that something in there is going to have new information for us. So there'll be fun things to look at. I'm not a cat. Let's see. Mary Kay, good to have a green courthouse next to your name. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. And KT, thanks for gifting a membership as well. I appreciate your generosity. It looks like that membership went to Andrea DCS. Congratulations. Judge, don't take no crap. Seriously, he doesn't. I have a great beer joke for your son. I'm not a or bear joke. Sorry, I read that wrong. Lisa, I don't know why I just assumed you were talking about alcohol. What do bears think of cyclists? Meals on Wheels. Much better than weather watches. Fast food. That's what it is. It's the only case I heard doing it this way.
Bring the jury.
Okay. Can you tell me what this case is about? Thank you. Don C., the case that's starting tomorrow that's currently in jury selection is the Family Feud case. We're going to be watching that live, gavel to gavel, as that's carried. It's a trial where the defendant, the accused, his name is Tim Blifnick. He is accused of murdering his wife, to whom he had filed for divorce. His wife was Rebecca, I believe. Yeah, it's Rebecca Bliefnick. The murder happened on February 23rd of this year. The arrest happened on March 13th, and now we're going to trial, in a murder trial. Very, very quick turnaround. He is being held, I believe, without bond on this one. And so he's currently in custody. He's going to trial. It's 2 murder charges, 2 first-degree murder charges, as well as a home invasion charge with an intent to harm. That's where we're at. The couple had 3 young boys as children. The boys actually were due to be picked up by their mom at school, and when she didn't show up, that's when they knew something was wrong. They went to the house and found her. She had been shot multiple times. The police arrested him a couple weeks later, and here we are. So that's where we know. The only other bit that is really interesting in this case, and sort of where the case gets its social media headline name from, is that the family was on Family Feud. I think a couple of years ago, and one of the questions that Steve Harvey asked Tim, the defendant, was, what was the biggest mistake you made at your wedding? And I think this was the question in the Family Feud game, if you know the style. He's like, here's the question, what is the right answer? What's the answer on the board? But his answer was, what was going to be on the board was saying I do, was the worst mistake he made. So it did not come across very well, did not reflect very well on him. Anyway, Juan Mojito, welcome to the gallery. Mojito, is that a Y sound? Juan, thank you very much. Appreciate your support of the channel. Good to have a green courthouse by your name. I think that's month 3 for you. Thank you very much. Kohberger reminds me of a cleaner-cut Stephen McDaniels. Both he and Kohberger had criminal justice interests just like Bundy. No wonder true crime interest gets a bad rap. It's interesting. Kohberger was a true crime fanatic, almost too much so. Andrea DCS just gifted a membership. Thank you very much. I appreciate the paying it forward like that. Wonderful. Do we have any sort of motive? We know there was divorce in the works, so something wasn't right in that relationship. But as far as the actual details, we don't know. There were some restraining orders in place at the time. J is pronounced H in Spanish. Jojito? I forget what the name was now. Let's see. Wait for it. Mojito. Juan Mojito. Is that better? I'm probably going to butcher it either way. Let's see. We have Nursery Dog Mom was just gifted a membership by Andrea DCS, who was paying it forward, who just got one herself. I never get to be live for posting, but today I'm here. Best place to be. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate you being here. Don Rawlings, love this channel and this family. I have a question. Is there a video saved of when RA was played in the ZA trial? Thank you. Yes, there is. I have not broken it out, Don. I know that it happened on a Friday.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
I think it was the Friday before the case ended. So I'd have to go back. Maybe some of my my really bored mods, because they have nothing else to do other than, you know, all their other full-time jobs and everything else they're doing, might be able to help me find it. Let's see. Looks like it was his brothers and parents with him on Family Feud. His wife was there because he looked over at her, or possibly where she was seated in the audience. It was number 2 on the board. So he answered well. I mean, it was a good answer as far as the game goes. It just makes you look like a jerk as far as husband-wise. So, yeah. He did apologize. He said, sorry, wife, but this is what I'm going to go with. Can I just say as a nurse, thank you. Communities like yours and Brandy, JT, honestly help raise the spirit when things get a little tiresome. Carmen, we have, I've told you my business partner, his wife is a traveling nurse, and she is the most amazing woman. I've heard, we've gone over to dinner for their house, and she, obviously nurses and police officers have a little bit different sense of humor because of what they deal with. They're able to handle things that a lot of the rest of us wouldn't handle, and they handle it on a regular basis. Not just things that are yucky and not pleasant and smelly and dirty, but things that are hard and difficult. And so they have a little bit of different humor in it. So it's always fun to hang out with her because she's aware. She's aware that we are not nurses and that we have not had the experience she has. But at the same time, she likes to joke around with us a little bit. She does an amazing job. She volunteered. Actually, one of the reasons I'm going to go camping and be able to go live from my campground in the middle of the forest is she volunteered to be the nurse on staff for a youth group that's going to be camping for a week. So she's taking a week off to be the on-call nurse for, I think they're going to have, I think it's like 40 or 50 girls that are meeting there with the leaders, and then a few of us guys basically just around to lift heavy stuff as needed. And provide security, but it's amazing. Nurses are absolutely incredible, and the stories you guys can tell are just, some of them are hilarious and some are just like heartbreaking. I have to be careful what I say sometimes, especially here. Brandy played Judge Schroeder's head scratch last night. Okay, so if Brandy has that, the head scratch was on Monday. The previous day of trial was the playing in court. I think it was the afternoon before. You can find, I think Toyo Toys, Phil Foss on Twitter does a great job. He put together a clip of that. That's probably easier to find, just the whole thing all together, if you want. Let's see. I'm getting texts like crazy. See, Katrina says, I'll send to burner. I'll go clip it. So my mods will send it to, I know it was on a Friday in response to the question. No help at all. Sorry. Katrina's going to clip it and send it to the burner to post to Facebook. That would be a great way. Thank you very much, Katrina. If you're not a member on the Facebook page, Katrina, who does a great job for us, not just on the mod channel here, but also moderating on the Facebook page, is going to post it over there. So you'll have a link to it. I've been hearing about the autopsy since I was a teen. Sister was a nurse, and then the stories continued with my kiddos: trauma, arrest, mental health system failures, etc. Lots of crazy stories from there. When does anything start? We'll see. Hold on a second.
Nurse, misbehaving.
Nurse, misbehaving. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I was just timed out about something that I wrote in the chart.
Oh, no. What was the comment
about? And this is me as a nurse. This is me as a nurse practitioner. The laws that are being passed put us in a bind because we don't want to get in trouble with the law. You know, it's going to make a difference between us being free to practice or being in jail, you know, away from our family. And that is a trash situation because the laws are not confined. There's not a clear and cut reason. And when you have a situation where there's a young mom and there's a bad situation with the mom and the fetus or the mom, it's one of those situations. Yeah. In my opinion, it should be like we took oaths to preserve life. So we're going to try to preserve life of the fetus and the mom. I don't think we should be held accountable if something happens, like if the fetus should pass, because the mom can have other babies. That's just not fair to us as healthcare providers, and it makes us squeamish. I'm going to be honest with you. I left labor and delivery and went to something totally different, like home health, because that bothered me so bad. And I'm just being honest right now.
Yeah. I don't know what state, if you want to tell me, what state do you practice healthcare in?
I have a what's called a compact licensure. So I'm licensed to practice in several states. But where this became an issue for me was in the state of Alabama as well as Mississippi. My home state is Connecticut.
Wow. Yeah,
And it's
I imagine
bothersome for a lot of us.
It's probably a state law that's a problem, right? Not on the
It
federal
is.
level.
It is. But what it has caused us to do, we're afraid to even practice. I'm not the only nurse practitioner that has just said, you know what, we're not even going to do this. Even though we took oaths to preserve life, like, what are you supposed to do when it's a difference between you being free with your family versus you going to prison?
Yeah, that puts you in a bind that I don't think you should be in. Obviously, I don't have the depth of knowledge of the exact situation in the law to be able to tell you my opinion on the law, but it sounds like if it makes it so that you are worried about doing your job, worried about treating someone because you could go to prison for it,
right?
It needs another look. I'd say that at least.
It does need a little look, but you have states that are passing this law and they're not considering that, and it's caused a lot of us to either go to another area of our practice or to just come out of healthcare altogether. We have had a surge of nurses just completely done with healthcare, and that's going to be bothersome for our community, our healthcare system in the United States, period.
Wow. I know in talking to my friend who does the traveling nurse thing, the people quitting that don't want to work there anymore are causing a demand for traveling nurses, and traveling nurses are expensive. We're
very expensive. We are.
They're not.
And I'm gonna tell you the bad thing about that Recovery Act. I apologize for interrupting you.
No, you're good.
They pay us more money to do the exact same job as the staff that they have. So I do understand why staff people that are already on staff are angry about travel nurses coming in, because we're getting paid almost twice the amount to do the exact same job that they're doing.
Yeah.
It's just bad all around. And I wish, instead of people making it a political thing, I wish they would have taken the time to just speak to us in healthcare on a broad spectrum, regardless of our political affiliation. I'm an independent voter, but on this topic, I'm mad with the Republicans. I am pro-2A. I am pro-immigration. But on this, I'm stuck.
Yeah. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us. Obviously, we don't get too much in the political side here, but wish you the best. I hope you find a situation where you're able to practice what you love doing.
Can you please make sure that I'm not timed out, because I love, joining and
I'm sure it's expired.
To your topic.
A timeout expires very quickly, so you're probably fine.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Recovery Addict, and thanks everybody for listening to me rant. Thanks.
Rant over. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let's see. Where were we at? We're answering some questions. Reverend Breezy, I should probably do this. If I were half the person Emily D. Baker was, I would do this already. She is absolutely amazing. Let's see. Yeah, we've got to take a time out on that topic while we find out more information there. We'll do pickles, not politics. Thank you so much. All right. Let's talk back on cases and let you know where we're at. We have half an hour before Bryan Kohberger appears on his first hearing, which I believe will be his preliminary or his arraignment. Sorry, the preliminary is done because it was the grand jury indictment. Half an hour before he appears for his arraignment, where he's going to plead probably not guilty. That's our expectation. After that, we have two more hearings. One is a motion to compel for discovery, and one is a motion to set a hearing date for an argument about the press covering the case and the gag order on the case. So all three of those are happening today in Idaho in about half an hour. That's going to be starting. We'll probably take a break. They will I believe, all three be filmed, but none of the footage will be live until it's over. It's possible that none of them will be live until all three of them are over. So it depends how it goes. Because it's all the same people and the same hearing, they might be all back to back. They might be done with them in 2 hours and have nothing to do on the third hour. It might be that after each one, the video is released, and then they record the next one, and then it's released. So we'll have to just keep our ear to the ground on that one. But we'll listen here and see how that goes. May I ask you about the interview with Zach Hayes' brother? Yes, Brett, it's going to happen tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern time. So in 22 and a half hours is when it starts. Solomon's going to be on the show. He's graciously agreed to be a guest here. I am super excited. He is. I really enjoyed the brief time I had talking with him on the phone. I appreciate all of you who helped pull those connections together so we could get in touch with him. And he was kind enough to reach out, and we'll definitely have him on. I'll be sending him all the information to connect here this afternoon, and I look forward to that. It's going to be great. And I hope you guys bring your questions and comments as well in a respectful way, because he's a smart guy. He's I think you'll see this. You'll see that he's very different than some of the people who have voiced opinions on cases in the past that might be emotionally based. He's a very logical thinker. So, let's see. When's that going to be? So that's going to be tomorrow, 10 a.m. And I realize, Knitting Addict, you bring up an interesting side point with this, and I have to walk a fine line with this. I don't know exactly how we're going to handle this topic, because we can't say that a major portion of his reason for why he feels that something went wrong can't be discussed. But we'll ask him to do it in a respectful way, and I think it'll be good. I think we'll be able to cover all the content. And I just ask for your support as the community in keeping it good here in chat. Where are the potential jurors for the Family Feud case? They are still being seated right now. Let me see if we have an update on Twitter here. Let's refresh. Okay, first two jurors have been selected. They've been told to be at the courthouse by 8:45 a.m. to begin opening statement arguments on time at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So 2 of the 16 are selected out of that first bunch. Both the state's attorney, Josh Jones, and defense attorney, Casey Schnack, both questioned the potential juries, and both parties deliberating in private after 4 potential jurors were interviewed. And the judge asked some questions as well. So we've got the first few seated, and they're going to continue through today to get all of them seated. Carmen, I appreciate your open-mindedness on this. Even if it doesn't change your opinion, I appreciate those who are willing to listen and be respectful as he comes on the show. Brian Entons is live tweeting during Kohberger's arraignment. Yes, but we won't have video, unfortunately. So we can start following Brian on that as well. Let's see. Well, I'm already following him, but we can keep an eye on that. Oh, I just saw a post from Brandy Churchwell. The 13th juror is doing a throwback trial for Jodi Arias. They're going to go back and revisit that one starting tonight. Wow, what a trial. Whew. You're welcome, Michelle. Let's see, can you please give us an idea of Solomon's stance so we know what questions to pose? Do you want our questions ahead of time? Lil Miss, bring them tomorrow when we're live. I'll do my best to try to read them. I realize there will probably be about 150 more questions than I have time to answer or ask him. But we're going to try to pick from those questions. And I've also told him that he'll be able to see the questions as well through the platform that we're connecting on. And that if there's something that he feels he'd like to answer and address, that he would be able to just pick that up and answer that. So his stance, basically, the family's stance is that there was a miscarriage of justice, that police, that there was a lot of evidence that should have been considered and admitted into court that was not, that police should have done further investigation into areas that they did not, and that Zachariah Anderson is not guilty of the crimes he was convicted of. That's their stance. So their push right now is towards the legal funding they would need to have an appeal. I mean, you can always get a court-appointed lawyer to help you with an appeal, but generally the priority of a court-appointed lawyer is pulled many different directions, and sometimes you can get some faster service or more dedicated response if you are able to hire your own lawyer. Not necessarily better response or better service, but possibly more of undivided attention. Super chat just came in from Carmen Burgess, $4.99. Thank you so much, Carmen. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your support. So that's Zachariah Anderson's brother will be on tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Excited utterance. The only thing we missed, we thought we were going to get jury selection audio today for the case that we're picking up this week, but apparently it's happening sort of in the dark. We're getting a few tweets from KHQA News as it's going on. We've got 2 jurors seated already out of the first 4, which means that's a 50% seating rate. That's going pretty well. They only had 4 people in the first group, so they're going to keep moving through and hopefully seat everyone here by the end of the day. Let's see. I watched the interrogation of Jodi Arias this weekend, says Michelle. Are you all right after the clamping? Georgia Culture, I will tell you, I did not sleep well. I think I woke up 15 times during the night. It was just the most non-restful sleep of my life, I think. And then, of course, my kids, first thing in the morning, they're ready to go out in the canoes. So I just had to buck up and and deliver. So it was good. It'll be difficult to repeat. The junior is supposedly dead, and he was a deadbeat dad, and that Sadie drinks a lot. I may need to sit that one out. And I never miss your show. Knitting Addict, I hear you. I understand. I'm obviously I'm going to give him a little bit of leeway. From my standpoint, they can make allegations. But we're going to try to handle everyone respectfully, and I've let him know that's how we try to handle things here. I think our treatment of him, if that is respectful, that will go a long way to setting the tone for the discussion. So I'd ask that everyone be respectful in chat with him. I didn't send my message with my super chat. It was to thank you for always being a calm voice of reassurance and reasoning. Renews faith, says Carmen. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you for the super chat as well. Glad to catch the message here on the backside. Can I choose a person to gift a membership to? Teresa, you can. Unfortunately, YouTube will choose someone else. YouTube gives out the memberships. They don't even let me buy memberships for people. You can't specifically buy a membership for someone. You can gift a membership, and then everyone who is eligible to receive is in the pool for that. But YouTube makes the choice. Let's see. Carlos Dominguez trial, says Tammy Lewis. Is that the football one? Okay. All right. Thank you, Matthew Harris. We do want pickles, not politics. So I appreciate there being some strong opinions out there. Let's try to keep the political stuff out of it. We have enough that we can agree on, that we can find some common ground without bringing in political attacks. So one interview had me rethinking if Zach is guilty. Tomorrow I'm in the office, so I'll miss it, but I will watch on a replay. He's a very nice guy, respects those who think his brother is guilty. Yeah, Rosebud, I told him up front, I said, I don't know if you want to do this interview because I'm with the jury on this. And he was so respectful to me and said, I really look forward to speaking tomorrow. And it's not a debate. It's not like who gets the most words in wins type thing. It's going to be a great conversation. Let's see. Speaking of pickles, I need to head to Walmart to restock those spicy maple broom. Can I show you something? This is off topic, but in the spirit of pickles, not politics, I want to show you what I thought was an invention. Just one second here. Let's send this to the burner. Oh, from the burner to the laptop here.
You're talking talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Okay, I'm not sure how I got 2 videos there, but let's try that again. This is not relevant. There we go. There's the picture. Show and Finder. Okay, so I made this over the weekend. You guys can guess what kind of pickles those are, but that is a personal pan, plate-sized pizza. I made this over the weekend. Spicy maple bourbon pickles on a pizza, and it was fantastic. Different. I think it might be good with a different type of sauce instead of the tomato marinara type sauce. I think it might be really tasty with, I don't know, it's been like the ranch type sauces that are on pizzas, but not sure about that pizza. Thinner pickles would make it better. These are thick pickles. It very much had the, if you don't like pineapple on pizza, you would not like this. The amount of, there's a divisive photo. I'm starting fights here. Ban pickles, says Abe. Oh man. The new anchovy, that should be illegal. It was, what actually drove this, I'll take this off the screen so it doesn't offend any of you any further. What actually drove this was we did not have the toppings that I wanted on my pizza. And I was looking in the fridge thinking, what can I use? And normally we'll cook up some hamburger, we'll cook up some sausage, and we'll have that, and we'll use it for toppings on different things. If we have different types of salads, you can use that as a little sprinkle on the top of garnish. And it works great on these, pizza nights when it's a make your own pizza deal. And I opened in the fridge, and right there in the fridge door was some spicy maple bourbon pickles. And I thought, you know what? I'll give it a go. And of course I covered the pizza that way. But it was a hard pass from several of you. It was similar to eating a Hawaiian pizza with the big clumps of juiciness, because the pickles, thick pickle, they retain their juice, and so you get a lot of that taste. And it wasn't bad. It was just a very unique. It's like adding 2 more very distinct flavors to the pickles. That's what it did. But anyway, I'll have to try it with dill and see if it's better. I did look it up online. Apparently, dill pickles on pizza is a thing. So we'll have to try dill and see if it's any better than the spicy maple bourbon on pizza. So no court, just food. 10-4, says Bushman. We're trying to follow the cases as they begin. Just 20 minutes for Kohberger's case to start in Idaho with his arraignment, where he's going to be pleading guilty, apparently. I would be very, very surprised if he does anything other than that. But it is also possible that he waives his right to a speedy trial during that hearing. That could happen. We might get a little peek inside behind the curtain at what's coming up. We'll probably have a next court appearance date or a next status hearing or something along those lines announced at that hearing as well. That's wrong. I've half of you are starving now, and the rest of you can't eat for the rest of the day because I've completely, ruined your appetite. I do apologize. Pass the pizza. Yeah, it's good. Anyway, so we've got Kohberger taking place. We've got the trial going on right now as far as jury selection in the Family Feud trial, which we will start tomorrow morning. The opening statements are starting tomorrow morning, and we're going to be following that one. It should be about a week long, and we like those week-long trials. They're not so heavy that we get lost in the weeds, with days of expert testimony that is just like facts or figures. Sometimes that's good, but a lot of times it's difficult to sit through. So it sounds like it's going to be a fairly fast-paced trial. With 3 or 4 days of prosecution and a day or 2 of defense, and then we move on. So it's going to be exciting to see that. It does have it'd be interesting if Steve Harvey got called as the witness, or if he was on the witness list. We'll have to see. A lot of the documents in the case so far are sort of under seal, waiting for the case to start, so that the jury does not get prejudice based on information that's released. Pickles on pizza is disrespectful, sir. So, hand pizza and pickles into the trash. I like the story you told with your emojis there. Very well done, my friend. Mercury in the microwave. Good job. Yes, it is food court right now. That's what we're doing. Let's see, KT. Pico on a Mexican pizza sounds good. Is it Pico de? I call it pico de gala, but it's pico de gallo, apparently. Weather Watch completely roasted me on this on one of our podcasts a couple weeks back. When he found out I said pico de gala. We polled 100 jurors, top 5 verdicts on the board. Maple pickles with ground beef and ranch dressing pizza. I like the chicken ranch pizzas. That's really good. I think San Francisco sourdough, like Pier 49 pizza, they did a chicken ranch pizza that was really, really delicious. That you would it's worth committing a crime for. How many of us are curious how Bryan Kohberger is looking nowadays? Remember, he was said to be very particular about his eating, fitness, etc. Curious, not too concerned. We'll see today. We'll have video out of the courtroom. So Brian Enton's going to be live tweeting it. So he's going to give his take as he observes it, but he won't be able to send images. The images have to be delayed until after the proceeding is over. What about the Richard Merritt trial? We're going to drop that. Isn't it done? I don't know if Brandy's here. She's probably doing homework for her case, but I'm not sure. Let me check and see what she's doing. I thought that trial concluded. I thought it was quick for some reason. There we go. Let's see. Richard Merritt. Yeah, Merritt is off today. Okay, that makes more sense. Thank you, Brandy. Appreciate that. I was just on your channel to see what was going on. Appreciate that. The court is not on today, so you're going to pick up on that one probably tomorrow. Okay, sounds good. Good morning, Sarah. Good to have you here. I'm on a diet. Please stop, says Jill. Good morning, Ricky. Thanks for popping in. No Merritt trial today. So we basically have no court today. I know Law and Crime is starting another trial with an ex-NFL player. That is not one I was planning on following. We're going to follow the Family Feud case. It'll be about a week long. It's going to be awesome. Tonight, Brandy is doing the throwback to Jodi Arias, which would be amazing. I can't wait to see your take on that. Let's see. Hello, V Rose. Welcome. V Rose Slims. Pesto sauce and pickles. Yeah, everyone expects him to plead not guilty. There are even some lawyers who say there would be a problem if he pled guilty at this point because you can't make an informed decision this early in the process because there's just so much evidence that you have not reviewed. So the judge, it's almost entered for you at this point. Big Tire is hungry. Says stop with the food already. Rosebud says holiday here and enjoying the extra day off. Wonderful. Sounds good. What's going on today, Pam D? We're following a couple things on Twitter. We're watching the case with KHQO News. This is the Family Feud case. Second group of potential jurors just entered the courtroom for questioning. They've already seated 2 jurors out of the first group, which was just 4. There were some people missing, so they proceeded with just 4 jurors at a time. I think they were missing 4 of the 12 that were supposed to be in there. So they seated 2 out of 8, so 6 got excused. That's actually not good stats, but anyway, hopefully we'll get the 12 jurors and the 4 alternates they need here today, and we'll start the deliberations tomorrow morning on that one. Also, Pam D, today we've got Bryan Kohberger. We're looking for updates happening out of the courtroom there up in Moscow, Idaho, as that's going to start here in about 13 minutes, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Kohberger will be not guilty for sure. He sure thinks he can get out of this. He's always said he looks forward to his day in court. At least that's what he said through his lawyers, and he wants to have his moment where he proves his innocence. Jodi was on the stand for 18 days. Oh, my goodness. Jodi was on the stand for 18 days? That's an eternity. That's almost a death sentence for somebody who's watching that. Can we live court hop? I can look at a couple if you'd like, but we have a few big things that are about to happen. 51 terabytes of data, I think they said. That's a lot of evidence. DMB, yes. 51 terabytes. I showed you guys the other day. I just dropped my milk flask. I showed you guys the other day, I've got a little terabyte jump drive. This can store as much data as my entire iMac can hold. So they're amazing little drives that can hold so much data. It's 90% full. It has 10% left. So let's do some math here. I want to do this with you. Actually, I'm going to plug it in so I can see it. Okay, so it has. Can you guys see this? See right up here right there, that blue ring on that circle. All the blue is how much is taken on that 1 terabyte drive. So it's 90% full. It has 10% available, and it has enough room for 37 hours and 20 minutes of 1080p high definition video. Okay, so assuming that all the data they gave BK and his team was video, which it wasn't, but just assume that we're going to play with this and do some math here. So 37.3. That's how many hours of video this can hold. And it can hold that, so that's times 10 would be 1 terabyte, and then times 51. So that would be 19,023 hours. 19,023 hours of video if they were to watch it. Do you know how long it will take them to go over 51 terabytes of data? And a lot of it is video because it's security camera footage from someone's camera that's pointing at an intersection looking for cars to go by. And so they'll be looking for other vehicles that may be in the area at the same time, that maybe also have driven by the same days. They're going to be looking for all that. They have to pour through all this data. It's going to take a while to go through. So let's see. Divide that by 24 and divide that by 365. So hang on. 37.2 times 10 is how much fits in a terabyte, times 51 is how many terabytes they have. Divide that time, which is 19,000 hours, divide that by 24 to get days. That's 792 days, or divide by 365 to get over 2 years of nonstop watching video. There's your math class for you today. Sorry, I had to do that out loud and in my head on the calculator. But 2.17 years of video could fit on the amount of information that's already been turned over. And today they're asking for more. There's a motion to compel evidence today to get more information. They have their work cut out for them, for sure. Cheryl says, spaghetti noodles topped with chili and pickles is amazing. You probably like that too. I will try all sorts of stuff. It sounds good. Hey, this is interesting. Alicia Bennett says, just a suggestion from a night nurse. Please get blackout curtains on my way home from a 12-hour shift. Now, being able to have darkness would be nice if they work nights. We can do that. We can do blackout curtains. Of course, each room has to have a window. To be code, it has to have a window with able to exit in case there was a fire, egress window. But blackout curtains would be good. How do you disclose 51 terabytes of evidence in discovery? That criminal complaint must be as long as War and Peace. It's like multiple copies of War and Peace, Ivan. It is a ton of information. That's a lot of storage too. Actually, this little drive that I have right here, when I bought it, I think I paid $100 for it, which was a steal. $120 maybe. It was a steal. It's a really good deal. And since then, it's gone up to like $250. It's the Samsung T5 terabyte drive. For some reason, the T5 drive, even though the newer model T7 has come out, T5 is worth more. It's just awesome. Laura77, good to have a green courthouse by your name. Thank you very much for your continued support. Thank you. Blackout curtains are the greatest thing ever. How do I decorate with blackout curtains? Do you have like the blackout curtain and then a colored curtain over it? That's sort of like a themed curtain. I just zoned out when Ari said the word math. Lisa just like tuned it out. It's like you're. This is a Charlie Brown teacher moment. Okay, so blackout curtains are a thing. I'm gonna make a note of this because my wife is responsible for decorating the inside of the apartment. Okay, we'll put that down. Not even counting all the other pictures and things, they're close to 9,000. Crazy. If, say, he is BK is screwed, but if found guilty, which I think he will, hope he gets fried. Yeah, I think that option is still on the table with Idaho, although it may be the firing squad. Because they just started with the firing squad up there. Blackout curtains come in color. The ones in my room are navy blue. Can do that. We're going to do it's not a hardwood floor, but it's a laminate flooring in the whole thing, and probably have some sound dampening decoration, just so it's nice and quiet. Just have heavy backing. Good to know. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're going to have to shop for those. Court TV is in the courtroom. They are. Court TV is in the courtroom for Kohberger, as well as all the other big players. Neighbors light up your room. Crystal, I was worried about that. We actually have to move some of our outdoor lights because they shine towards the apartment, and I was concerned about that even previously before you guys said blackout curtains. Don't think the state is stepping away from death penalty unless Kohberger pleads. It seems the families are pretty for it. Court TV, they're headed into the courtroom. Yeah, they won't be showing it live, though. Yeah, electric chair is not pretty for those who have done any research on exactly how that goes down. That is not an enviable way to go. Brian Anton just letting everyone know on Twitter that the victims' families are arriving into the courtroom. Kaylee's sister, Olivia, has her baby with her. It's interesting. Some courts don't allow young children to be present. Brian's in the courtroom as well. Says it's pretty small. Kohberger's not there yet. The prosecutor just arrived. Okay. Live tweeting is allowed, yes, but live tweeting images is not. I don't think they're allowed to take pictures from their phones. Only the still photographer is allowed to take pictures. And those are not to be released until after. Think of the trial you're thinking about already over was the young dude, OnlyFans stalker, I believe. He was found guilty on half the charges. There was that one, and there was that horrible, horrible case involving the babysitter and the young girl. I think both of those were quick. That was a 30-year-old, like a cold case. I think both of those went quickly. All methods are horrific. I mean, you're ending someone's life. It's not a small thing. Seems ironic that the last thing we do before we end their life is to make sure they're healthy enough to die. So yes, live tweeting is allowed from the courtroom. Rec Addict TV coming soon. Brett, sooner than you think. We're ordering some equipment that will put us on par with a lot of the big channels. So, but we still have to work together to get the personnel in place. How long do we think until we get to watch? Excited utterance. It depends on the judge. If the judge handles this all as just back-to-back issues, there's going to be no breaks, and there's no time to really stop the live stream and say, "Oh, now I'm going to air this." And so it might be 3 hours before we can see it, and it might be 1 hour before we can see it. But I doubt it would take much longer than 3 to be available. Arraignments are the quickest, yeah. And also with arraignments, there may be other people being arraigned at the same time. He's not the only person. It might be 45 minutes into the block of arraignment hearings that his name comes up and it's handled. Sometimes we saw that with the Courtney Clinny, the OnlyFans model murderer. Yes, I'm still in North Carolina, Amanda, very much so. We've got a few minutes before Kohberger starts. They're just going to read and explain the charges. They'll probably waive even the reading of the charges. little miss. It may be like blink and you miss it type fast. It's although we'll probably hear him plead not guilty. The charges, he's had time to go over those with his lawyer. He'll probably waive the reading of those. But 3 hours is an eternity when we're waiting for news. Rec Addict TV. I think we might just have to be RATV. Should I hurry and reserve that web address before it's taken by somebody who's going to extort me? Get white noise machines too. That's a good idea. All right. Kohberger's receiving fan letters and love mail. It's a thing. So is Murdaugh. Basically, all the convicted, all the convicts, everyone who gets put away for life gets a fan club. I'm not sure if it comes with the sentence. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it's a thing. Carol, you're exactly right. Yeah, we'll be seeing pictures of BK probably here in the next hour or so. Updated pictures. I don't know if they'll be very different because the jury's not there. He is going to be in jail attire, so he'll look different in actual court when court begins. He should be in civilian clothing at that time. Let's see, I'm kind of pissed at these courtrooms. Sorry, the P word. That's the American word, not the British version. That these courtrooms won't show straight up this day and age live video feeds. I believe all trials should be watchable just to have transparency. Keep rocking, RA. WFO Carter, I agree. The irony of this is that it's allowed to be shown as soon as it's over. So the disruption in the court process, it's already there. The cameras are already there. The cables are already there. The microphones, the cameramen, the switchers, all the personnel are in place. There is no additional impact to the court to live stream as opposed to delay it. We need to find a way to have 10K interactive chat manageable. I don't think YouTube is that platform. Brett, honestly, it gets crazy. After about 4,000 people get in here, it just gets nuts. They make an air filter that's also white noise and perfect for the bedroom on Amazon. Fran, the Family Feud case, they're currently seating the jury. I think they've got 2 jurors seated. They've got the next group in asking them questions. But the Family Feud case is a murder trial where a previous contestant on Family Feud, who answered questions about mistakes made at a wedding, and his guess was saying "I do." He's now accused of murdering his wife, or his estranged wife, as they were going through a divorce. But that's where we're at. She was shot multiple times. He's been arrested for her murder, and this is a case out of Quincy, Illinois. Sadly, there are 3 young kids left behind that now don't have a mom, and their dad is accused of murder. So it's a tough situation as far as that goes, but we're going to follow it. It should be about a week-long case, maybe just a little bit over. My kid's personal Uber driver. Yes, I honestly may need something. I'm looking at what it would take for me to build a kit that can be shipped to a 1099 employee, basically what it be, and have you with a press pass under the RATV or something similar channel name connect to the pool feed for a live view straight from the courtroom. So we have our own feed. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you, Debbie. Okay. Any other Brits here? We have quite a few Brits. Is Family Feud the same as Family Fortunes? It's sort of it's one family versus another family is how the game is set up, and so it's the argument between the two, and it's a playful game. It's a fun game. Steve Harvey was the host for this game. 25 victim family members in the courtroom. No one for Bryan. course, Bryan's family is on the other side of the country. That might be different once the trial begins. He might have family members there, whether it's his sister or his dad or something. There's been some speculation about being jilted by one of the girls. There's speculation about some Facebook interactions or a restaurant interaction. I don't know how much truth there is on that. There's a lot of discussion possibility. They were, in a college town and similar age, and definitely had opportunity to interact. Okay, let's see if we can get an update here with where we're at for the two trials. Brian Enton says there might be some BK family there, but they would be in the overflow room if they are. Let's see. Totally quiet, he says. All I can hear is reporters typing and the baby making soft cooing noises. So the baby in the courtroom. AJ, welcome. I wish we had a video feed yet. It's going to be a little bit before they allow that to be released, but we're gonna carry that just as soon as it's available. Seems like murder is more common now than ever before. A lot of people are doing it. It's like a fad. Gabby, the case we're watching, opening statements are actually starting tomorrow. Right now, we were hoping to get jury questioning. Sometimes we can get the audio of the jury questioning, which is a lot of fun. But that's not happening today, unfortunately. They're seating the jury right now for the Family Feud murder trial. It should be about a little over a week long. And it'll be a fun one out of Illinois. Did you or anyone in the chat hear talks that BK had help, specifically mentioned that a campus security guard helped? I have not heard that chatter, although there's been some pretty crazy chatter around this case. Even talking about TikTok and the teacher, and there's been a lot of stuff that completely was not true. So I'm trying to just tone it down and just listen to what we have verified sources on right now. Why is the trial so short? Did he plead guilty? No. It's just a fast-tracked trial. The murder itself happened February 23rd of this year. He was arrested March 13th, and then we go to trial. I mean, the trial starts May 22nd. So it's, I guess officially the testimony of the opening statement starts May 23rd. So it's very quick. It's what Illinois is doing. It's their new system, how they move things along in their court system. So it's going to be fast. I don't think there's not a lot to go into that would take a lot of time as far as expert witness and testimony and things like that. So they should be done fairly quickly. I think we have to take into account the lockdowns of 2020. Seems a lot of people lost their minds. The amount of crime and the murder since 2020 has been crazy. Says Smile Jen loves you. Chatter has been wild. It has. You can find lots of speculation. I mean, head over to Reddit and search for BK, and there's all sorts of stories, everything from alien abduction to the cartel involvement. It's all out there. Yeah, either wait to speedy trial or an Illinois thing. Possibly, maybe both. BK was taking courses in law. I think he was actually a teacher's assistant in a law class as well. But definitely was pursuing some criminal justice type education. And he'll get one. He'll get one now, like an honorary criminal justice education. Has it been verified that BK had asked if any other person had been arrested when he was arrested? That sounds. I think we heard that early on as a soundbite, and then his lawyer refuted that. But then the gag order came in, if I remember that correctly. His lawyer said, I don't remember that being said, or that, I don't have any information that was said. So it could have happened, but then the gag order came into place, and so I don't know if that was ever answered, finalized. I'm not sure if she's going to change her name from Stauk. Stephanie Solovsky, thank you very much. Love your channel. Thanks for being here, Stephanie. Appreciate that. Rebecca, we're just waiting. Bryan Kohberger's arraignment is supposed to be happening right now. So I'm looking for some updates from Brian Enton or somebody in the courtroom. Cameras are in the courtroom, but we're not allowed to live stream it, so there are no feeds out there available right now. Where is Illinois? Second highest murders in the states. Why is everything being so secretive around this case? I don't like that. Ivan, I hate that they're locking this up so tightly. I don't think it serves it. Kohberger just walked in, so he's now present. So we have him present. Once he's there, it's about to begin. So we'll follow along with the live tweets here. DMB, I think that's a great idea. Let me see if I can update that. Okay. I'll leave it just like that for now. Family Feud trial is, they're not showing they will have the feed tomorrow, Casey Smith. They're not showing the jury selection portion, which they're doing right now. They've seated a number of jurors already, and we're just waiting for the 12 with the 4 alternates to be set. Kohberger's wearing an orange jail jumpsuit, seems to be wearing a bulletproof vest underneath. That or he's really bulked up on the food. Mr. Opertorso says it's a pretty high-profile case for this day and age, kind of Richard Speck, in my opinion. I can see why Idaho doesn't want to mess it up for the state or Kohberger. Keep things as unappealable as possible. That's why I think that's why they went with the grand jury, why indicted him that way. Because had they gone with a preliminary hearing, as the judge has said, any information that's in those records, in the court records during the proceeding, becomes public at the end of the proceeding, and that would be fair game for people to talk about. And so, in the same spirit of the gag order, doing a secret grand jury indictment keeps all that evidence information under wraps until the case begins, so they don't have a biased juror member. A major question, this is going back to the Family Feud case, a major question potential jurors continue to be asked is if they have ever been through a divorce and what that experience was like. So far, one of the jurors selected has experienced divorce. Got police running by. BK studied with the professor who interviewed BTK. And I think his mom, his family had some interest in BTK as well, right? Did I miss that? Or did I connect those two facts? Yeah. They don't want the court of public opinion to have too much ammo in their justification of a guilty verdict. So the judge is reading Kohberger the rights and charges right now. Kohberger's looking straight ahead and nodding a bit to show he understood what the judge is saying, says Brian Enton on Twitter. His mom wrote about Bundy and the crowds cheering after he was executed. What state executed him? Was he in Utah for that? Or Texas? I don't know where Bundy was executed. Jess, welcome. Good to have you here as an addict. Thanks for clicking the subscribe button. The divorce question is kind of weird. If you've been through divorce, if your parents have ever divorced too. They are going to tweet everything before we see the video. As a matter of fact, you just got another one in here right now. Judges read. Oh, he's reading his rights. Sorry, it just popped the same one up for me. Judge is now going over the indictment with Kohberger. It says inducement, but I think it means indictment. JB's showing the tweets. I can show you the tweets that I'm following as well if you'd like that. Let me bring those up. Okay, so here we have the feeds, the Twitter feed, as we need to make that full screen so I can see it. Oops. Right there. So our two sources, we've got Brian Enton in the courthouse right here with Kohberger, and KHQA is our source in the courthouse with the Family Feud trial. As new things come in, as soon as there's a light on that bell notification, we'll get notifications and bring them up here. So judge is going over the indictment with Kohberger right now. Let's see, Bundy was Florida. Okay, Florida was the one that got the final say on Bundy. Linda Borg. Hi, everyone. Good to have you here. Good to have the blue courthouse by your name. Thanks for your continued support. Bundy was executed in Florida in 1989. In Colorado, people convicted of felonies cannot change their names unless they are changing it to the name they were convicted under. So she can never change her name? Is that what you're saying? Still just going over the indictment with Kohberger. We'll have all this video later this afternoon as soon as the judge releases it. BK looks similar to Bundy. Bundy was executed in Florida. Thanks. I appreciate all the updates, Chris. Thank you very much. I wonder if the judge can state she must change her name due to Al's request in his statement. I don't think they can. I know that when you're charged with crimes in Florida or Colorado, I thought if you were charged with a crime, you can't change your name until after the sentence is done, after it's all said and done. Still no updates here. They want me to follow DuckDuckGo. I didn't know that was still a thing. They will release the video after. Well, I'm not sure if they're going to handle all these three hearings together. They're listed back to back from 9, 10, and 11. So it's possible that that's the only thing the court's handling. If that's the case, they may be done with all of them within an hour. This could be a very quick process. I'm not sure why they scheduled each one, or maybe their court scheduling system has to allocate at least an hour to each request. But let's see. Here we go. A new update 8 seconds ago. The judge is reading each victim's name as he goes over the murder charges. Madison Mogan, Kylie Goncalves, Xana Kernoodle, and Ethan Chapin. Should be able to go with her maiden name if she wants to, maybe under an AKA. Yeah, cheering. This is the thing. I like justice being done, but I don't cheer at a verdict. For me, that's just it's not a day to celebrate. In my mind. BK's judge named Judge? Yes, Judge John Judge. There have been many jokes about his name, but he is very much a judge's judge. So that's what we get. Judge tells Kohberger the maximum penalty is life in prison or death. Death penalty is on the table for this one. So we are looking forward to the video of this being released as soon as the hearing is over. I'm not sure if it will be the end of this hearing when we'll get a very brief arraignment video, or if at the end of the third hearing when we get a video of all of it. Do you think the request to change venue for BK? I don't think they'll win that. Look at how tightly they've kept this under wraps. I think they'll do okay without that. Yes, this is a new judge. The judge's name on the orders has changed. So Judge is a different judge than who's been handling stuff previously. And I don't know the reason why on that. So if somebody has the info on why the change of judges happened, let me know. See, 2017 Colorado revised statute states, oh, we got a new notification. Hang on. Looks like Brian Enton says, Kohberger says yes, that he understands the charges and the penalties. He's about to enter a plea. Let's see, the statute in Colorado states that the court shall not grant a petition for a name change if the court finds a petitioner was previously convicted of a felony. Boom, you cannot change the name. Thank you, Tricia, for that information. That's a solid. She will be known as Stauk going forward. And here's the plea. Let's see what it is. Nope, that's still the same. Third member of the jury has been selected. Bailiffs are bringing down the next group for questioning. We've got 3 of the 16 in the Family Feud case now seated. What position does mom of BK have, please? I thought it was a PhD. We are going to do a review of the Kohberger case, yes, as soon as that video drops. We just don't know when it will become available. Lindsay, we'll keep an eye out for that. Let's see. Can we get a soapbox emoji? I really need one for my rants. What does a soapbox look like? I tell you, I have been to Speaker's Corner in London, where they actually have soapboxes. New update. Kohberger's attorney is asking the judge to set the trial for October. She says it will take at least 4 weeks, maybe 6. So that is not waiving a speedy trial. That is the news. He is not waiving his right to a speedy trial. October is fast. That is fast-tracking the trial. Wow. That is huge. That would be this year. Let's see if the judge honors that or is able to meet that request. Just a crate. A crate that says soap on it. Is that it? Milk crate, but less holes. This is fascinating. I believe it's in his best interest to rush this because there is a lot of pieces to this puzzle that the state has to put together, and the faster they have to do it, the less thorough they can be. So I think it's in his interest. Kathy says, wow, a birthday gift for me. New notification just came out here. Update. The prosecution now has 60 days to seek the death penalty. Kohberger is standing silent, so the judge is entering a not guilty plea. The judge is entering a not guilty plea. We said that might happen. He's standing silent, not saying a word. But that's actually the legal term. He stands silent to the charges. Kohberger says yes, that he understands the charges and penalties, but he stood silent. The prosecution has 60 days, and the attorney is asking the judge to set the trial for October. So this, we're definitely going to cover this one. I may go there. Honestly, I would like to do it. It may be the way I need to get the feed that I want. We're not going to be able to see this live. We're going to watch this later this afternoon. As soon as the video is released, we'll watch this progress. Just got another update. This one comes from, let's see, Brandy. Let's see. Although people were liking my tweets, that was a different one. So Bryan Kohberger trial date set for October 2nd at 8:30 a.m. Mark your calendars, folks. Save the date. October 2nd at 8:30 a.m. is the trial date for BK. That's going to be amazing. Time to start a BK trial attendance fund. We'll make this happen. I think this will work. I've told you we're ordering equipment right now that is going to change the way we can follow things and make it a lot easier for us to follow, even possible multiple trials at the same time. So we're working on stuff. So October 2nd at 8:30 a.m. is a great time. Kohberger's attorney is asking the judge to set the trial for October, and the judge said yes at the very beginning, October 2nd. It's going to be a 4 to 6 week trial, so it's right around Halloween. This is going to wrap up. Halloween or the first week of November. Gives plenty of time for Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone's going to be done early August, or mid-August, I think, at the latest. I don't think they have much time. Where do I go to find your pink cup? Corey, you can type !mug in chat, and it will send you a link. Currently, it's only available through eBay. You'll see that right there. But it has 5 different colors. I'm currently drinking out of the red cup today.
BK Trial Attendance Fund.
Carmen, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We'll either be there ourselves or try to send somebody there to get us a live feed that we can do with as we wish. Okay, he's being charged in Idaho, right? Yes, he is. Oh, we got a new update here. Just get up to date. Brandy just tweeted out that Bryan Kohberger's trial date set for October. Thank you, Brandy. Appreciate that. Court has been adjourned. So that was it. That was the first one. Now that it's adjourned, because it's adjourned, we may have a video drop in just moments. So let me go back to a quick hunt for a source for this. Just 1 second. Can defense change their minds later?
Can defense change their minds later for court date?
There are a couple things they can do to change their mind. One of them would be change their plea. As far as the actual court date, they would have to have a reason. That it would go before a judge. There's probably going to be some sort of status hearing before that October 2nd date. But my daughter's birthday, says BuffyBot. So there are ways that date could change, but it sounds like the defense is using that quick trial for their benefit. 35 minutes till next hearing. They may release this one shortly. I'm watching one feed. Let me check for notifications here on the others. I'm not seeing anything else. So court's adjourned there. That was quick. So now, because it's adjourned, it's over. That means we're going to break it up, and we'll probably get a video feed in just moments. So if you guys keep your ear to the ground, I'm going to see if East Idaho News, see who's going to be able to turn it around the quickest. We'll watch for that. If you see one out there, let me know, and I'll pull this up. The next hearing, let me pull up the schedule here. I had all this in my piling system. It's like a filing system, but it's on the ground. How is a judge assigned to a certain case? I don't know if it's if they rotate just on availability. How is a judge
assigned to a certain case?
Let's see. So let's see the order we had. Motion to suppress. Okay, here we go. Okay, so 9 a.m. this was going to be the arraignment. 10 a.m. we have a scheduling conference. This is going to be for the Associated Press. figuring out what they're going to do with the gag order. And then at 11 a.m. they have a motion to compel. So it's in that order. And here we go. We've got video now. We're going to take it.
They will be standing silent, however, when entering a plea. That means they will not enter. They will not say anything.
Oh, that's old video. Man, they tricked us. They tricked us. October is very fast. That's surprised many people in the legal community. We thought that the soonest we could possibly see this would be next year at the soonest. Tag says, I'm still here, and you, peeps, are still my faves. Thank you, Tag. Appreciate the text messages as well. Love it. Tag's going to have a new Kohler courthouse by her name, probably before almost anybody. So court has adjourned here. We're just watching for any sort of updates or notifications. No new feeds. It's an exciting morning to not have been let's see. This is an exciting morning to not have been and to see yet. It's been a cliffhanger. Yes, it has. Court TV's they're good at putting up old feeds. There's the new feed possibly will be released now. I'm not sure what the judge has told them. They're trying to flip something. I'm not sure. Is that an old feed? Let's check the audio.
Bryan Kohberger standing silent, and there may be.
Yeah, that's an old feed. Tried to see who would be the quickest at turning this around, and it might be East Idaho News. So let me do a quick check there. Not seeing anything on their page. Yeah, Mrs. H, if it's a long description, it might take a little bit of a phone call. Appreciate all those who are helping search as well for the feed here as we're all waiting frantically for something to happen. Court TV says they're about to broadcast it. Let me pull theirs up.
Ross Idaho Trip Fund.
Thank you, Dilly Pickles. I appreciate it. Okay, I've got their feed accessed. Let's bring that over here. Sorry, I'm doing the magic to get everything connected back here. Okay, we need audio here. That's good. And there. Oh, come on. Well, let me watch it full screen. Okay. All right. Law and Crime's giving us a 4-minute countdown. Is that? Yep, 4-minute countdown from them. So there's some sources out here. We're probably under 5 before we get to see this. We know what's going to happen, but let's answer a few questions about what he looks like, about his appearance, some of the behaviors.
Julie Weaver just sent a super sticker with 0.99.
Julie, thank you very much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Matthew Harris also comes in and says, well, would you look at that? 4-month membership milestone. Thanks for all your hard work to keep us entertained and educated. You do the education part. I will work on the entertainment. I promise to improve. So thank you, Matthew. Love the shirt, by the way. I'm going to be probably wearing that this week as well. I've got that amazing shirt he sent me that says everything I know about law I learned from Matthew Harris Law. I believe you yourself can get one of those shirts from Matthew's merch channel. So highly recommend it. Let's see. He can waive it at a later date. Yes, he could. He can change a lot of things in the future. A lot of options are open for him. Even if you were to plead guilty, there are ways to go back and say, I changed my mind. Now I'd like to be not guilty. Until basically it goes to court and the trial begins, there's a lot of options for him to handle things differently. And so they can get discovery from prosecution faster. Nursing mom, this next hearing is for the news. This is going to be for Associated Press et al., all the news agencies that are interested in getting information from this case on the air. And they're trying.
Love Buttercup smiling face with hearts.
Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. Apparently, Buttercup is also getting in the mix. So this is good. Okay, watching. I think we're going to probably look at LNC for the feed. They've got under 2 minutes. We need Dr. G to give us insights into his body language while we watch. Dr. G, where are you? Dr. G is at work. He has Fridays off, but he's working this week, today. Yes, this is what my shirt says, and I love it. I love Buttercup Super Chats. This is why you don't let your dog play on the computer unaware. Rebecca comes back and finds out that her dog has spent all her money on Super Chats. Good stuff. You guys are fantastic. Okay, just under a minute 15. We should be getting a feed here. Binge watched a couple of Dr. G's videos this weekend. That's always a good plan. Good stuff. I think BK's way of trying to have control, probably to the dismay of his lawyers. I think his lawyer is a great lawyer. She is fantastic. I mean, he won the lottery when it comes to that. Megan says, I need a membership. I went to another channel and the mod was yelling at everyone, not at RA. Welcome back, Megan. Good to have you here. Tag, thank you for gifting a membership. That one went to Fanny Pack. Sounds good. Law and Crime 45-minute countdown. Or second. I've got seconds, Debbie. So I'm just under 20 seconds on my side with a little bit of a delay for YouTube to encode everything. Red Pen's cat just sent us a little bit of goodness.
LK, Skulj Pitch JLJ, from my cat who silently walks on the keyboard.
All right,
there's a lawsuit.
We have we have a dog and a cat sending super chats. So LNC is about ready to let us into the courtroom. Let's see. We want to get rid of their talking heads for just a minute. Let's see what happens. How they're going to tease us just a little bit. We'd like to watch the whole proceeding without interruption. And they're still going to tease us. Man. What's for lunch today? We were going to watch a little bit of BK pleading guilty, but instead he stood silent and the judge entered not guilty on his behalf. RATV will have the best talking heads. They'll be silent when the judge is talking or when court's going on. And that's going to be the best part. And nobody has the feed yet. I'm not seeing it anywhere. It's like 6 minutes of footage. Come on, it's not that hard to turn this around. WFLA is getting ready. Let me pull up their channel as well. WFLA has been good in the past. Okay, here we go. I'll bring this over here.
Lassen Zion Salzum RA Travel Fund Beatrigen.
You guys are nuts.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
Okay, let's see if we can get this one. Thank you very much, Red Pen, and Tilly Pickles for that, as well as Matthew Harris. Lassen Sie uns aus dem Array Travel von Bietergarten. I don't know. It sounds German. Matthew, I'd say it sounds German. Knoxville Agent, thank you very much for gifting a membership as well. Here's what we have on the live feed. This is through WFLA, just showing us a door, which appears to be, well, let's see if we can actually click play on that. That would be better, huh? I need to turn this off right here. Can we go live or did we miss it? Okay, we're going to back up just a tiny second to right here. There we go. Well, it's not letting us do that. Okay, so we're just going to take it right there. So 3 is hot.
Life in prison instead of the death penalty. I think that's probably.
They've still got.
Taking very seriously, having conversations with him to see if that's even available. It's possible to prosecute. But I think if they were, if they're doing their job, at some point they'll reach out.
Okay, we've got an extra feed going here. Just 1 second, we'll cut that out. That is this guy right here. Sorry, guys. Lots of work. Too many channels in the mix. So he looks very much the same as we've seen him before. Sort of the same vantage point from court.
Some people on Zoom here too, so a bit of hybrid. Okay, let's get on the record, please. Thank you. Okay, we are now on the record in State of Idaho versus Bryan C. Kohberger, CR 29222803. Mr. Kohberger is in the courtroom along with his attorney, Ms. Taylor. I believe also part of the team is Jay Logston and Elisa Massa, who is participating by Zoom, I believe. The state is represented by Mr. Thompson, Lake County Prosecutor's Office, or Prosecuting Attorney. Ms. Jennings is of that office too, Lake County Prosecutor's Office. Also part of that team is Ingrid Beatty and Jeff Nye, both from the Idaho Attorney General's Office. I'm John Judge. If you don't know me, I'm the Lake County District Judge, and I'll be presiding over this case. So, Mr. Kohberger, you've already heard a lot of what I'm going to tell you at your initial appearance, but I'll repeat it to you because it's important, and I want to remind you of these issues. So I'll briefly cover your rights, the charges against you, and the maximum penalties if you are found guilty or if you plead guilty. So I'm going to start with the rights. You have a constitutional right to have an attorney represent you throughout these proceedings. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, then one is appointed at public expense. Ms. Taylor and her team have already been appointed, so that's taken care of. You have a right to a speedy and public jury trial where the state would be required to prove every element of each charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. At that trial, you would have the right to cross-examine the witnesses called against you. That means to see, hear, and question them, to call witnesses to testify for you, and if you choose to testify in your own defense. But you're not required to testify because you also have a right of silence. That right is protected under the Idaho and federal constitutions, so you can remain silent throughout these court proceedings, and that can't be held against you in any way. What you do need to remember, though, is that anything you do say, other than to your lawyers, could be used against you in a later court proceeding. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. You also have a right to appeal any final decision of the court. In order to exercise that right, you need to file a notice of appeal within 42 days of that final decision, or that right is waived. Also, if you are not a United States citizen, any finding of guilt in this state could have adverse consequences to your legal status. Do you understand these rights?
Yes.
Any questions about the rights?
No.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kohberger. So let's go to the indictment. Do you have a copy of the indictment in front of you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And you see in the heading your name there. Is that your correctly spelled complete name?
Yes, it is.
Is that the correct birth date underneath your name?
Yes.
Are those the correct last 4 digits of your Social Security number?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to read you the charges on the indictment, starting with count 1, burglary. That is a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-1401 and 1403. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did unlawfully enter a residence located at 1122 King Road, Moscow, with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder. Count 2, murder in the first degree. That was a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Madison Mogan, a human being, by stabbing Madison Mogan, from which she died. Count 3, murder in the first degree, a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Kayla Gonzalez, a human being, by stabbing Kayla Gonzalez, from which she died. Count 4, murder in the first degree. That's a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. Alleging that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Zana Kernodle, excuse me. This is hard, I'm sorry. Zana Kernodle, a human being, by stabbing Zana Kernodle, from which she died. Count 5, murder in the first degree. This is a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Ethan Chapin, a human being, by stabbing Ethan Chapin, from which he died. This is signed on May 16, 2023 by the presiding grand juror. So now I'm going to go to the maximum penalties of each charge, starting with count 1, burglary, minimum 1 year, up to 10 years in imprisonment, fine of up to $50,000 or both fine and imprisonment, restitution for the victim's economic losses resulting from the crime. For counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, murder in the first degree, Maximum penalties, life in prison, or the death penalty. Fine of up to $50,000, or both fine and life in prison or the death penalty. Restitution for the victim's economic losses resulting from the crime. Also, additional fine of up to $5,000 to be paid directly to the victim's families. If you are found guilty or plead guilty on each charge, and the maximum sentences are imposed consecutively, that means one right after the other, you could be facing 10 years in prison, followed by 4 consecutive life sentences or death penalties, fines of up to $200,000 and $20,000 to be paid directly to the families with any restitution resulting from the crimes. Okay. Mr. Kohberger, do you understand the charge in count 1, burglary?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 2, murder in the first degree?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 3, murder in the first degree?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 4, murder in the first degree?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 5, murder in
Yes.
the first degree? Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Taylor, is Mr. Kohberger prepared to plead to these charges?
Your Honor, we will be standing silent.
Okay, because Mr. Kohberger is standing silent, I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on each charge, counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now at this juncture, the state has 60 days to give notice of intention to seek the death penalty. And Mr. Kohberger has a constitutional and statutory right to a speedy trial. So let's start with you, Ms. Taylor, and then Mr. Thompson to discuss some scheduling.
Your Honor, we'd ask the court to set this trial at the very outside of the speedy trial, right? We're not prepared to do anything but ask the court to do that today.
Okay. Have you counted out when that will be? November?
I have not counted it out, Your Honor, but I believe it would be about November 22nd is when the suit will run. Maybe November 20th, somewhere around there. So I'd ask the court to set it for an October trial date.
How long do you think it'll take to try the case?
My best guess is it would take at least 4 weeks, maybe 6.
So you'd like me to set this for a 6-week trial?
At this point, I would, Your Honor.
Well, and in order to do so, I will have to get rid of some of the other 3 trials I have, but this is more critical and more important. So, Mr. Thompson, what's your...
Those trial dates are workable for the state judge.
Thank you. about October 2nd, starting at 3 in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Does that work? Okay, for 6 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Anything else we need to address today, Ms. Taylor?
Not with regard to the trial setting.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Johnson?
Nothing to say at this time now.
All right. So with that, by the way, I do want to let everybody know, if they don't already know this, that once the grand jury issued the indictment, the preliminary hearing scheduled to start on June 26th was no longer needed and was vacated. So some people are confused about that. So I thank counsel and the media and the public for your attention and respect. So we are adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to explain a little bit about what we heard. We heard a couple other details that weren't included in the tweets I want to tell you about. As he finds his way out, the DA and his
Bryan
attorney.
Kohberger electing.
There we go. Amanda, what is the significance of him standing silent? As far as the court's concerned, it's almost identical to him pleading not guilty. Everything goes forward. He is going to continue facing these charges in trial, but he has not entered a plea. He's just mute. It doesn't mean that you can't find me guilty. I'm not going to plea. It's just saying we don't say anything. We're not going to say yes or no, and the court says all right, we'll continue anyway. There were a couple things that came up here that I just wanted to mention really quickly. First of all, the defense, when they asked for the trial date this year, they said that we want a trial date, say, just outside of the speedy trial limit. So they say we have these dates, a time frame where a speedy trial has to occur in. He has the right to a speedy trial. We want to just barely be inside that limit because we're not ready to go right now. Okay, if they were ready right now and they wanted to rush things, they're like, we're ready, bring us to trial type thing. And the state would say, we're not ready yet. We need X amount of time. But they say, we want the date right now set for speedy trial. It doesn't mean this is going to stick. Okay, the state or the defense could. I think the state's probably good with it, but the defense says we might need more time, and that might happen later on. But they said, how far out can we go and still be a speedy trial? That's where we want it. So the actual date was from the indictment. They said was November 22nd. If she did the math right. That means, she says, so bring the date back and say, maybe October. They said October 2nd and a 6-week trial. That'll give them enough period, a little grace period, so that his trial can be complete and done before the end of his right to a speedy trial. The judge, when he hears this, he's looking at it, he's like, well, I'll have to get rid of some of my other jury trials, but this one is more critical, is more important. So he's pushing some other jury trials off. These are cases that are have gone through the same process. May not be as big a case, might be not as lengthy a case, but when he says he pushes that off, it either means that court date gets bumped to be further out in the future, or it's going to be handed off to another judge. So something he was going to cover might be switched over to another judge. This judge, it sounds like, is going to handle this case all the way through in October. But 4 to 6 weeks with the October trial date starting October 2nd to 8:30 in the morning. I'm hoping that holds. That would be just amazing. Let's see. Bryan was in ankle shackles, but his hands were not cuffed. Was walking a little short step. It's more of a shuffle. I can't imagine the family would be happy with the judge mispronouncing the names. I realize I've mispronounced them as well, so pot, meat, kettle. It would seem that the judge who was working very closely on this case might have got a pronunciation guide or a little refresher immediately prior to it. Recovery addict sounds funny on 1.75. I can imagine. What are the other hearings, other BK's hearings? What's happening first at 10 o'clock is we have a hearing where the the Associated Press has said to the judge, look, our rights are being violated by this gag order. We have the right to cover this. There's public interest. All the pieces in play exist that we should be able to cover this. And every day you don't allow us to cover this this trial, it's harming us. So they want the gag order lifted. They also would like, as a part of this process, the judge to sort of finalize and rule on the live streaming of the court proceedings and how that would proceed. I'm not sure if that's going to change a lot, but the hearing itself is a scheduling hearing. So it may not actually have any substance as far as the matter of the question at hand, and it might instead just figure out that, hey, come back in 2 weeks or come back in 3 weeks and we'll talk about it. Because there's really not going to be anything to show in the meantime. There are developments. The news reporters are still going around. They're talking to people. They're finding out about more history about the families, more history about BK. But with this gag order, none of the prosecutors, none of the police, none of those people are available to speak. So that's happening. And then the third one is a motion to compel. And I'm not sure if BK is even going to be there for that one. He might waive his right to be present on that. It's just going to be basically some paperwork saying we'd like the state to turn over XYZ evidence that we think exists. And the state's going to say, yeah, sure, whatever we already have, or yeah, whatever. It's pretty normal that way. Okay. Judge did apologize for the mispronunciation of the names. He said, I'm sorry, this is hard. We did not hear that BK had any family present. Brian Enton in the courtroom was not able to observe any. There may have been some present in the overflow room because there was room for overflow. It's weird to go from motor mouth recovery addict to normal speed. You sound so slow. Yes, DMB. Glad you got both experiences today. If BK's two sisters lost their jobs, do BK's parents still have their jobs? I don't know. I haven't followed the parents. Obviously, they're not being accused of anything here, so I'm not sure where that stands. Red Pen says, when the judge said, I'm sorry, this is hard, I felt he was emoting a bit about the case in general, not just the name difficulties he had. Brittany says there's no proof from my understanding that he had hidden in the house before. It has been speculated, though. We'll hear all those details. And Brandy Churchwell's charts are going to be very, very useful once we start getting all these pieces of evidence, because I think it's going to be very much like the Murdaugh trial. We'll have just detail after detail, timestamp after timestamp, from every different vantage point that really has to be put together and assembled before in a timeline before we can really paint the picture or see the picture of what happened and the order it happened in. Let's see. The name mispronunciation was unfortunate. Jim Bob. Can't blame the judge for not remembering people's names when his own name is his profession. Judge. Everyone says BK looks creepy. I honestly think he looks like a normal guy. I think people think that because of the charges. Yeah, if we had not seen his face before this, as we hear about, because we all did, we heard about this crime, we heard about the Idaho 4, and they were looking for somebody, and nobody knew who it was. And as we were waiting for a break in the case, in our heads we painted this picture of this monster, this killer, this the multiple murder killer. Who would just attack college students as they slept type thing. It's a monster. And then we get the picture. We get BK's mugshot. We get his picture, and suddenly it's like, oh, that's the monster. If we did not have the two together and we just had a lineup of people and the description of the events, I don't think statistically any more people would say it was him than someone else. I said that wrong, but I don't think we would have made that association just by his looks. Death penalty. The state has 60 days to determine if they want to do a death penalty from the indictment. So I think that clock started a couple days ago. I do hope the judge is fair in this one. I hope he allows the media to cover it. Rudy, I don't know. There's a lot of stories out there. I don't know if these are true or not. I'll honestly tell you, this was the hearing that was exciting for us. This is what we were waiting for. There's not going to be a ton of more information today in the other two hearings. It's possible in the motion to compel, there might be a little in the description of the motion of the evidence that they're trying to compel to be discovered, released in discovery, that we might have a tidbit of information, a little sliver that we can speculate on, but it won't be a lot of detail. Let's see. Okay, going back to Twitter here, just 1 second. Got a few new tweets. Okay, so in KHQA, in the Family Feud trial, let's go over here. There we go. So in the Family Feud trial, it says, when potential jurors asked about social media, they stated they're mutual friends with both Rebecca and Tim, a juror on Facebook. Casey Schnack digging deeper on that matter with more follow-up questions. New medical drug. Oh, that's something else. That's a different story. Brandy's saying, I wonder when it will really start. Because the defense is not ready. They've said they're not ready, so push it out as far as they can. There's the arraignment video. Potential juror says past incident, this is Family Feud, could make it difficult for them to stay impartial and fair. The people and the defense asked to approach the stand again, but the judge, Adrian, moves on. In an attempt to speed up the process in Family Feud, the court and both the state and defense screed to excuse, says screeded, to excuse 2 potential jurors and bring in 2 more. I think agreed. So those are our updates. They're still trying to seat a jury in that trial. So that's where we are. He did sit and listen very intently. He spoke very clearly when he said yes. Missy Baker, we did watch already. We've watched it together. Let's see. Hello. Hello.
Hi, good day. This is Lou. I'm calling from Supreme Travel. How are you today?
I'm fabulous. I'm actually looking for a place to go on vacation right now.
Well, that's great. I am calling you right now because we see that you have an unused travel package, but you did purchase insurance on the package. And we have some good news for you because the insurance is going to replace the package and remove the expiration date. And the first thing I'm going to do for you, sir, is unlock the entire package so you will have your choice of where you want to stay. And you get to choose your 3 locations. We're also giving you a 6-day, 5-night cruise with airfare. And I'm going to pull up your full account so we can see what else we can do for you, okay?
I'm a little nervous about the boats. Is there an option for a boat that doesn't tip as much as a cruise boat?
Well, that's great, sir. Yes, we have a cruise, and I have my promotional director on the other line so that she can discuss you everything. Please hold on the line. Please hold on the line for a while, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Anthony Ronca. I'm the promotional manager. Your call's been transferred over to me as courtesy. How you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Okay, now you spoke to my representative before me here. So far, you have gone over the basic package. You have your 3 separate VIP resort upgrade trips that you're choosing That's going to be within the 50 unique destinations inside and outside of the U.S. On top of that, you also have a 6-day, 5-night, all-inclusive flex cruise with round-trip airfare for two. Sounds pretty good so far, doesn't it?
I can't do the boat. I get seasick.
Okay, I'll take the cruise out of the package for you. We'll swap that out for a 6-day, 5-night go anywhere. That allows you to go to any RCI, Wyndham, Westgate, or Hilton location in the continents of the United States for 6 days and 5 nights.
Could we do a driving vacation instead of a flying one? Because I am also scared of heights. I do not go on planes.
Okay, well, you don't need to fly to do the 6-day, 5-night go anywhere. That's anywhere in the continents of the United States.
Okay.
So on top of that,
just like an Uber, and I send you the receipt, or
no, you don't pay. We don't pay for the travel. You just go to do 6 days, 5 nights at the resort. So you take care of your own transportation. You get yourself from point A to point B. We take care of all 4- and 5-star resorts for you.
But I have to pay to get there?
Yes.
Can you use the money that you would have spent on the cruise to pay for like the Uber or a taxi?
No, we're using that money to pay for the hotel room instead of the cruise.
Oh, okay.
For 4- and 5-star resorts. Some of these places go for as much as $400 a night.
Okay.
Now your package retails for $3,600. Promotionally, it's sold for $1,250 a traveler. Since the activation fees are covered today,
could I sell the nights? Could I sell the nights and like rent a lower room and then use the extra money to pay for my taxi? Well, I think he gave up on me. Well, we tried. I almost had a good vacation going there, but I think of all the people he couldn't scam while I talked to him just briefly, and I was nice this time. I was nice. I was not mean at all. So he put me on perma hold is what happened. He's like, nope, not going there. All right. Okay. So there we are with Bryan Kohberger. That's where we are. Maybe he could send me to Moscow, Idaho as a destination. If they call back, I'll ask if that can be one of the destinations and send me there. I'd like to be there. October 2nd would probably be my preferred travel. I'd like to be there by that day. Karen, thank you very much for the super chat. I right through my hands, Ace of Swords. I really dropped the ball on that one. I could have had a vacation, but man, so close. The funny thing, let me tell you, I get calls like this very often, and it has to do with the fact that my phone number, this is my actual personal phone number, is attached to an individual who had a huge debt attached to their name. And I think this is a collection company cover story to get contact information to collect a debt. And I realize that's almost like a tinfoil hat type thing, but they call me Dwayne Bond, who was linked to some property deal that went bad in a state that I do not live in or own any property in. And so they call me and ask me all these questions, and all they need from me is my address, so they can hand deliver my winning ticket. So I think that's what it is. Anyway, pranking scammers, it's good fun. Time to get a new burner phone. Now this is my personal phone number. My personal phone number is what they call on. It does ring through on the burner phone as well, but the train. All right, so here's where we're at. Let's go ahead and take lunch. Bryan Kohberger, the next hearing, I don't believe he's going to be present at because he's not one of the parties in the hearing. Well, I guess he is. They have said that they have an interest in not having this aired, so he may be present, but it might also be just the attorney there that's present for him. So we'll wait and see. I think if we take lunch and then come back. We'll see if we got other videos. We'll start calling you Dwayne. Thank you. I get that enough. But I was going to ask him if I could sell my $400 a night tickets and rent like $150 a night, maybe like a Best Western or, Holiday Inn Express, and then use the difference to pay for the Uber to get me to my destination. And then we could all be a winner. RCI is a timeshare company. You get your vacation at a high-pressure sales meeting you have to attend. I'm not going to fall for them. And personally, I'm not saying that timeshares are a bad thing, but they are not for me. Not for me. The closer he failed to close. What's the catch on the free vacation? There's always a catch. You're on the hook for the rest of your life for maintenance fees or something, which can go up every year by tenfold. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up here and say let's hold off. If more videos drop with Bryan Kohberger today, we're going to go ahead and air those. I'm going to get ready for tomorrow. We have Solomon Anderson, Zechariah's brother, who's going to be on the show with us. That's going to be really exciting. We also have the opening statements from the trial. We'll put that trial on hold and watch that on a little bit higher speed to catch up after the interview's done. So our interview with Solomon's going to start at 10. Then we're going to play catch up on the court. We should be caught up by the end of the day, so we're not going to miss anything there. It should be a blast that way. If anything happens this afternoon with Bryan Kohberger with more videos that drop, we'll go live again after both of them drop or after both the hearings are over, just in case, just so we can discuss any events or any details that were sort of leaked out that way. Other than that, I think we're good to go. I'll have to talk to you sometime about my ideas for going camping and live streaming from the woods, but it's still going to be following court cases, but it will allow me to do it from someplace other than my studio. Is Solomon older or younger than ZA? I believe he's older. That's, I don't know. I just always assumed he was older, but I don't know. I'll ask him tomorrow. Solomon is younger. Okay, thank you. Leave a little early while the post office is still open. Yes, BZ, I sure will. We're gonna head out there and make sure we get the package. Thank you so much in advance. 4 years, I think. Shall we expect back soon? If you are, it's probably going to be back. Let's see, it's 1 o'clock now, so the other hearing should have just started. Let's see if I can check on Twitter. See if there's more notifications about the hearing. Let's see, Brian Enton. Let's see, the family, Brian Enton just tweeted 3 seconds ago, a statement from Kylie Goncalves' family. It says, the family would like to thank everyone for continuing to follow this case and keep the memories of Kylie, Maddie, Zaina, and Ethan alive. They are what's important, not the defendant. We're thankful that the Latah County District Attorney's Office finally took the case to a grand jury and came back with an indictment. At the same time, we are disappointed that the judicial process has not been more efficient in addressing the gag order. This is just the beginning of a long journey for all the families, and we are thankful for your continued support and coverage. Let's see. So they dropped the video in court. The hearing about the gag order is about to start. We haven't heard exactly. We'll wait and hear. As we hear something, we'll go live with it afterwards. So if there's any news from Brian from the gag order hearing or from the motion to compel, we'll go live briefly this afternoon. If you ring the bell and click subscribe and then ring the bell, you will definitely get those notifications as they happen. Let's see. I'm getting told to subscribe to someone and pay money. Okay, well, let's not do that. I don't know who it is. So is the live stream over? This one is. We are going to be picking up tomorrow with Solomon Anderson. We're also going to have the opening statements and the beginning of the trial for the Family Feud trial. And then we are going to go from that to for a week of trial, basically. The trial's going to last about a week. So we'll have that to cover. We are 91 people short of 22,000 members. So maybe this trial will get us there over the next week or so. But thank you very much for all of you. Let's play some music and call it a day. Thank you very much for being here in the Court of Public Opinion. Tonight, when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, and make their day just a little bit better. And please stay safe till we go live again, which will be tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. We're going to do it. That'll give us an hour to get things out of the way, talk about anything BK related before we start with the interview with Solomon, which is just really exciting. And then from there, we're going to go. We might have to do a break to go live again with the video from the case because the software that works for the interviews does not work as well as the software that works with videos from the net. So we'll handle that tomorrow either way. Thank you all very much. Have a great day. We'll see you. Might be on later today if there's breaking news from BK in these hearings. It's not a sure thing. So we'll see how that happens. Thank you all. We'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.